Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, I want you to remember this very moment is sacred. Your body may rest upon the bed, but your mind, your divine imagination, is opening the door to infinite wealth. Lie down gently. Feel the sheets soft against your skin. Let the outer world fade from your awareness, for it has no power over you unless you give it power. And as your eyes grow heavy, let your heart whisper, I am ready. Most men fall asleep repeating the noise of the day, the unpaid bills, the fears, the regrets. But you are not most men. You are not here to relive the old story. You are here to rewrite it. From this moment forward, you are no longer the victim of circumstance. You are the author of it. And tonight, as you drift into the silence of sleep, you will plant the seed of abundance in the fertile soil of your own subconscious mind. The world is yourself pushed out. Everything you see, every person, every dollar that enters or leaves your life is nothing more than the image you hold within. Change the inner image and the outer world must follow. It cannot do otherwise. So tonight, you will not chase money. You will become the embodiment of wealth itself. You will feel its rhythm, its movement, its peace, until it is no longer a wish, but a certainty. Before we begin, say softly within yourself, I am prepared to receive. Now breathe in deeply and exhale gently. With every breath, feel your mind loosen, your heart expand, your energy rise. For money, like every form of manifestation, is energy. It is obedient to the tone of your inner conviction. If you believe it to be scarce, it flees. If you assume it to be natural, it comes swiftly, joyfully, endlessly. Tonight, we shift that vibration forever. If you're ready to open yourself to abundance, write in the comments, I am prepared to receive my money. This is not just a comment. It's a declaration to the universe that you are open and ready to receive wealth. Close your eyes and picture yourself standing before a great golden door. Upon it are written the words, Wealth Within. This is the door to your own wonderful human imagination, the creative power that never sleeps. Reach for the handle. Feel how it glows under your touch. Turn it slowly, the door opens, and a warm light spills forth. You step inside. The air shimmers with quiet expectancy. In the center of the hall, before you stands a mirror made of pure gold. Approach it. Look into it. What do you see? Not the one who worried, not the one who lacked, but the one who has arrived. See yourself wealthy. See yourself serene. See yourself free. Notice the calm upon your face, the stillness in your breath, the confidence in your eyes. This is your true identity, the being who already lives in the end fulfilled. And as you gaze at this reflection, something marvelous occurs. The image begins to move. It smiles, it nods, and it whispers to you, welcome home. You smile back, for now you understand. You are not creating wealth, you are returning to it. It has always been yours. Now in your hands, imagine a small seed glowing softly with light. This seed is your desire, the wish to experience financial freedom, ease, and flow. Feel its warmth, its promise, its life. Place it gently within the soil of your own being, right in the center of your chest. Cover it with gratitude, water it with faith, and softly declare, it is done. That is all you need to do, for the law of assumption, the law that imagination creates reality, will do the rest. Now let us go deeper. You find yourself once more in your bed. The air feels light, your body heavy with peace. Every muscle unwinds, your breath slows, your thoughts fall silent, and into that silence arise new images, vivid, living, real. You see yourself checking your account. The numbers rise effortlessly, digit after digit appearing on the screen. You smile, not from surprise, but from recognition. Messages arrive. A client has paid early. A refund clears. An unexpected gift is sent. Money moves toward you from directions you could not have planned. You realize something profound. You do not feel lucky. You feel aligned. And you whisper, I am wealth in motion. Remember now the stories of others who discovered this truth. One man in Los Angeles fell asleep each night imagining himself receiving an unexpected check. He did not wonder how, he simply felt the thrill of holding it. 2 weeks later, he received a letter from a company that owed him money long forgotten. The very scene he had imagined. A woman once fell asleep repeating, "I am debt-free." At first, nothing seemed to change, but she persisted. She felt the relief, the gratitude, the joy. And one morning, a check arrived from an insurance claim she had forgotten. Double the amount she owed. She said it was as though the universe had been listening all along. And it was. For the universe is only the outpicturing of your inner feeling. You may call these miracles, but they are not. They are not. They are law. The same law that governs the stars, beats your heart, and breathes your lungs. Whatever you dare to assume as true within, must externalize itself without. So tonight, as you rest, know that every image accepted in imagination, every feeling impressed upon your subconscious, is even now arranging itself in the world of fact. Feel it again, that seed in your chest, pulsing with light, alive, expanding through your entire being. Each beat of your heart sends waves of abundance through your field. You are radiant, you are magnetic, and everything that corresponds to your vibration, money, opportunity, ease, is hastening to you now. You do not chase, you attract. You do not wish, you know. Because what you feel now is the truth. Close your eyes now and let us go deeper still. Let every word that follows sink not into the intellect, but into the quiet center of your being, where imagination lives and breathes. Feel the air on your skin, calm, still, alive. Notice how the weight of your body is supported completely by the surface beneath you. There is nothing for you to hold, nothing for you to fix. The ground, the bed, the universe itself is holding you. Now breathe in slowly through the nose, and let the breath drift out through the mouth, like a tide returning to sea. With each breath, the world of fact grows softer, quieter, more distant. With each breath, the world of imagination grows brighter, nearer, more vivid. Your shoulders release first. Then the muscles of the face, the jaw, the space behind the eyes. The tongue rests loosely against the roof of the mouth. The chest expands with no effort, the belly softens and falls. Feel your arms grow heavy, a pleasant heaviness, not of weariness, but of surrender. Your legs follow, the weight flowing down through your hips, through your knees, through the soles of your feet. You are anchored, grounded, safe. And as the body becomes still, your awareness expands. You begin to notice the faint hum of silence that exists beneath all sound, a living stillness. That silence is not empty. It is full, full of power, full of awareness, full of God. Stay with it. Let it hold you. If a thought passes by, do not chase it. Let it drift, as clouds drift across a clear blue sky. You are the sky. Vast, unchanging, serene. The thoughts are but weather. They cannot disturb your essence. Now imagine that the air around you grows warmer, softer. A golden light begins to form above your head, gentle, pulsing with intelligence. It flows down slowly, touching the crown of your head, washing through you like sunlight through water. Every place it touches relaxes, opens, remembers. The light moves down through your forehead, melting tension from the brow. It softens your eyes, your cheeks, your lips, down through your throat, where the voice of fear once lived, and it dissolves it, leaving only quiet strength. The golden light moves into your chest. It lingers there, where the heart rests. You may feel warmth, tingling, or peace. This is the place of your assumption, the inner altar, where every image, every feeling is accepted as truth. Breathe into that light. Let it expand through your ribs, your shoulders, your back. The warmth flows down your arms, into your hands, and out through your fingertips, as though you were radiating peace itself. Now it moves lower, through the belly, through the hips, releasing every old fear of survival, every ancient tension of not enough. It keeps descending through your legs, your knees, your calves, until it reaches the soles of your feet. And there it anchors you to the infinite, to the source that sustains worlds. You are completely surrounded by golden light now. You are breathing it in. You are breathing it out. It fills the room. It fills your mind. It fills your future. And in this stillness, I ask you to repeat within yourself, slowly, as though you were carving truth into stone. I am safe. Pause. Feel it. Let the words find a home in your chest. I am provided for. Again. Not as a wish, but as a recognition. You have always been. I am ready to receive. Say it as softly as you would say your own name. Now let the words fall away, and feel the meaning remain. Every cell in your body vibrates with readiness. Your subconscious, that infinite servant, is awake now, open, receptive, obedient. It has no opinion, no resistance. It only knows how to bring to life what you impress upon it with feeling. So rest in this understanding. You do not have to make anything happen. You need only feel it real. In this depth of stillness, you are closer to the creative center than at any other time. Here, every image is a command, every emotion a decree. What you feel as true here, in this sacred stillness, becomes truth in the world of form. Breathe once more, deeply. Let the breath carry the conviction. I am safe. I am provided for. I am ready to receive. And now, let that readiness carry you into the next realm, the inner world where imagination shapes destiny. Now that the body is still and the mind has grown quiet, we move into the sacred theater of imagination, the place where all creation begins. Do not force the pictures to come. Simply allow them to rise, as scenes do in a dream, effortless and alive. You are not here to make anything happen. You are here to feel that it already has. Every image you now see, every sound you hear, every touch you imagine, is a seed of reality. And when you feel it with conviction, it takes root and grows into the world of fact. So let us begin. Walk with me through the inner world, where all riches already exist, waiting only for your recognition. Close your eyes, my friend, and allow the body to grow still. Let the breath fall into its own gentle rhythm. No effort, no trying. With every exhale, the weight of the day loosens and slides from your shoulders. With every inhale, a quiet light awakens within you. Feel the slow rise and fall at the center of your chest, the soft warmth behind the breastbone. That warmth is your door. Without moving a muscle, see before you a faint glow, as though a thin veil of sunlight lived behind your eyelids. The glow gathers, brightens, becomes a pathway. You do not walk to it. You are carried by ease, by intention, by the simple willingness to be transformed. You know this place. You built it long ago in your first act of imagination. Tonight you return. The glow opens into a vast inner space. The air is still and fragrant, a hint of cinnamon and cedarwood lingering like a blessing. The temperature is perfect, cool at the edges, warm at the heart, exactly as comfort should be. Hear a barely audible hum, the sound of creation at rest. You stand at the threshold of the temple of wealth within you. Look ahead. Pillars rise like shafts of gold-dusted light, not metal, not stone, light made solid. Each pillar is living radiance, and as you draw near, subtle patterns flicker over their surfaces. Vines, stars, the curve of a river, the arc of the moon. These are the symbols of your own life, the story you have told the world by how you have dared to imagine. Tonight the symbols rearrange themselves. They bow to a new decree. Step forward. The floor beneath you is warm, smooth, and luminous, white gold marble that seems to remember the feet that have walked here before. With every step, a soft tone rings out, as if the temple recognizes your tread. You are expected, you are wanted, you belong. At the far end of the hall, a doorway stands open. No hinges, no lock, only an arch of pure light. Above it, in letters that are not carved but alive, a single name gleams. It is your name. Hear it now, not as the world speaks it in hurry and habit, but as reverence speaks it, as love speaks it. There is no rush, no doubt, no question, only recognition. Your name, pronounced by the very power that imagined galaxies. Let it wash through you. Let it steady you. Let it remind you the one you have sought outside has always been within. Cross the threshold. The temple's inner chamber opens like dawn. The ceiling is high and invisible, a sky of quiet radiance. Incense curls in slender ribbons, rising and dissolving into light. In the center stands an altar of translucent gold, simple and clear. It does not ask for sacrifice of things. It asks for the only offering that ever mattered, your attention. Approach. On the altar rests a mirror, framed in gold that seems to breathe. This is not the mirror of the world, this is the mirror of being. When you look into it, you do not see yourself as others have described you, nor as yesterday's story insisted. You see yourself as imagination, knows you, whole, wealthy, free. Gaze softly. Let the picture arrange itself without effort. The face you see is tranquil. The eyes are steady and bright. There is a quiet glow at the temples, a softness in the jaw, an ease at the corners of the mouth that says, "It is already done." Notice the posture, how your shoulders are at home with victory, how the breath lands lower, deeper, as if the body has finally remembered what it means to be safe. Now, without strain, allow that reflection to move. It steps closer to you from within the mirror, until there is no glass, no frame, no border, only you meeting yourself, the wealth of your being meeting the being of your wealth. A hand rises, your own, resting lightly above the heart. Hear the whisper that comes not from outside, but from the foundation of your soul. Welcome home. Let the words settle. They are not poetry, they are fact. Wealth is not a stranger, arriving with suspicion and trial. It is the native air of this place. You are not introducing something new, you are remembering something true. Turn your attention to the altar. There, resting where the mirror had been, lies a single seed, small, luminous, alive. Feel its warmth in your palm as you lift it. This is desire, purified of worry and argument. Feel its weight, how surprisingly certain it is, how it presses into your skin with the authority of the inevitable. You are not asking for this seed to grow. You are recognizing that growth is its very nature. Bring the seed to your chest. The body opens to receive it, the way soil opens to receive the rain. Lay it gently into that inner earth, the quiet, fertile subconscious that never sleeps. Cover it with gratitude. Water it with the feeling of already. Then, softly, as if repeating a law older than stars, speak within. It is done. Let the breath deepen. The temple brightens by a shade you cannot name. Something has been agreed upon. Not bargained, not pleaded. Agreed. Because the creative power within you accepts only the tone of certainty, you have given it exactly that. Now walk the inner chamber. Along the walls are recesses where treasures gleam, not coins or jewels only, but living symbols of freedom. A scroll sealed with gold, a ring inscribed with light, a key that holds no edges yet opens everything. You are not here to collect trinkets, you are here to inhabit meanings. Take the scroll. As it unrolls, lines of radiance assemble themselves into the words your life has been waiting to hear. Paid in full, read them with your whole body. How does the spine shift? How does the breath change? How does the forehead soften? Let the sensation of relief flood the nervous system like warm sunlight over cool skin. Relief is not the absence of pressure, it is the presence of provision. Hold it until relief becomes recognition, and recognition becomes normal. Set the scroll down and slip the ring onto your finger. It is warm, as if shaped by your own pulse. Inside, the inscription is simple. I am. This is the name of the power that creates your world. Not I will be. Not I hope to be. I am. Feel the difference. Let it take root in the muscles of your face, the rhythm of your breathing, the language of your inner speech. Now the key. It has no teeth, yet it opens every locked habit, every door of delay. Bring it to the center of your chest, and watch as it passes through the sternum, like light passing through water. A soft click within. No sound and yet unmistakable. You have unlocked receptivity itself. Across the chamber, a fountain begins to sing. A thread of water rising and falling in perfect rhythm. Approach and cup your hands. Drink. The water is cool and tastes faintly of honey and citrus, a sweetness without weight. As it touches your tongue, it changes the memory of your cells. Scarcity is not a lesson you will need again. Your body now remembers abundance the way it remembers how to breathe in the dark of sleep. Stand in the center again. Above you, invisible choirs hum a single, endless syllable that sounds like a low, loving yes. Columns of light breathe in a cadence that matches your lungs. The floor glows beneath your feet with a pattern that seems to shift as you notice it, an intricate mosaic of paths weaving out into your waking life. You cannot trace them all. You do not need to. This is the bridge of incidents already forming. Your task is only to remain loyal to the end assumed. Let the temple guide your inner speech. Say within, slowly, as if laying gold into place, I am safe. I am provided for. I am ready to receive. I am wealth in motion. I am the ease of completed things. I am the gratitude that proves possession. I am the quiet certainty that bends the world. Do not hurry the words. Let each one arrive with weight and warmth, like a hand on your shoulder from a friend who has seen you through. Feel how the body receives them, the belly loosening, the heart widening, the skin becoming more alive to the air. Now the mirror returns, not on the altar, but everywhere. Every surface in the chamber offers back to you the same image, yourself at ease in abundance. Walk and watch how your reflection keeps pace, not as a copy, but as a chorus. In one reflection, you laugh with a friend who says, I'm so happy for you. In another, you glance at a screen, and numbers rise with calm inevitability. In another, you sign your name, steady, fluid, on a document that closes an old story and opens a new one. Each image is brief, exact, and suffused with the feeling tone of already. If doubt drifts by, like a cloud that forgot its way, do nothing to wrestle it. Notice it, bless it, let it pass through the ceiling of light. The temple is not a place where doubt is punished. It is where doubt is made unnecessary by evidence felt. Return to feeling. Feeling is the only argument that matters here. Now the chamber itself seems to breathe you in. On your next inhale, imagine the walls drawing lovingly closer, not to confine, but to clothe, as a robe of warm light settles upon your shoulders. This robe fits you perfectly. It is cut in the shape of your acceptance. Its fabric is woven from your assumptions persisted in. The collar rests at the base of the throat, the place where words are born. Speak gently into it. I am the fulfilled wish. I am the owner of the scene. I am the end from which I now live. Turn slowly. As you pivot, the chamber pivots with you, and beyond the arch you see the hall you first entered. The pillars seem brighter, the floor less a floor than a path that loves your step. Cross the threshold. Notice how each pillar now carries an emblem that was not there before, a coin flowering into a tree, a lock dissolving into light, a contract stamped with joy, a hand extended and met. You did not place these images there. Your assumption did. Hear again your name, spoken this time by a multitude and by one. It lengthens and softens, becoming less a label than a blessing. Let it fill the crown of your head with a golden coolness, then slope down over the face, across the neck and shoulders, through the chest and arms, down the spine, the hips, the thighs, the calves and feet, until even the toes glow with the simple dignity of being chosen. Pause at the entrance to the temple. Do not say goodbye. Say thank you. The temple is not a destination. It is your inner address. You are not leaving. You are carrying it with you like a fragrance on the skin, like warmth in winter, like the taste of honey remembered at the back of the tongue. Now, without moving anything but attention, find yourself once more in your physical bed. Feel the pillow under your head, the slight weight of the blanket, the friendly darkness of the room. The air is the same, and yet not the same. The temple light has followed you home. Your chest is warm, where the seed was laid. It continues to pulse, not faster, not slower, just sure. Let the breath fall into a slower tide. As the exhale lengthens, the muscles along the jaw unhook. The small muscles around the eyes smooth like water becoming glass. The belly lowers, and with it, the mind lowers into the sacred borderland. The state akin to sleep, where the subconscious stands open as fertile earth after rain. Do not reach for scenes now. Let them reach for you. They approach like friendly birds, and alight upon the window ledge of your attention. A quiet vibration of a message received. Deposit confirmed. The soft stamp of a bill answered, paid in full. The laugh you make when an old worry tries to remember its lines and finds the script has been rewritten. Feel these as textures more than pictures, as temperature more than words. The subconscious speaks this language fluently. If the mind wonders, how? Let the temple answer in the simplest way, with silence that feels like yes. You never command the seed to sprout. You never shout at dawn to arrive. You agree with the law and rest. This is your agreement now. As sleep draws nearer, lay these lines, slowly, warmly, across the threshold of your awareness, like gold leaves pressed into a book you love. I am safe. I am provided for. I am ready to receive. I am already what I desired to be. I am the wealth I welcome. Feel each sentence as a weight in the hand, solid and satisfying. Place them one by one upon the altar of the heart, where the seed has begun its invisible work. And now, in the softest inner voice, the one closest to the bone, speak the name that makes all names meaningful. I am. Let the two words ring out with no echo, because there is nowhere they do not already fill. The temple hears, the pillars brighten, the scroll unrolls, again and again with the same verdict. The ring warms on your finger with a steady tide of certainty. The key within the chest rests content. Having opened what was needed, the fountain hums its quiet song of enough. Enough. You need do nothing more. As the last fringes of waking loosen, notice the sweetest sign that the seed has taken. Gratitude that arrives with no prompting. Not gratitude as performance or strategy, but gratitude as the natural fragrance of possession. It rises in you now, warm as bread, clean as rain. Let it carry you the final inches into sleep. And just before you cross, hear once more the voice from the mirror, the voice that was yours from the beginning, speaking not promise but memory. Welcome home. It is done. Now the golden light in your chest expands again, slow, sure, and effortless. It breathes outward, through your ribs, then beyond your skin, until the room itself seems to shimmer. The air is warm. The hum returns, and without walking, you feel yourself moving, carried on a current of peace, deeper into the heart of the temple. You come to a tall archway, veiled with strands of light like falling silk. Beyond it lies another chamber, softer in tone, quieter in sound. Step through. The light parts for you, then closes behind you with the hush of velvet. You are in the chamber of completed desires. Here, nothing is becoming. Everything is. The air is thicker, as if saturated with fulfillment. Each breath tastes faintly of contentment, a sweetness without sugar. The temperature is neither warm nor cool. It is exactly the temperature of satisfaction. The light glows in shades of rose and amber, not bright, not dim, the color of a deep exhale. Look around. The chamber stretches far in every direction. Shelves rise higher than sight, endless aisles radiating out from where you stand. Upon each shelf rests a scene. Delicate, luminous, living, a moment of your life already complete. Not wishes waiting to form, but facts that already exist in imagination's finished world. You take a slow step forward. The soles of your feet make no sound. You pass the first shelf, and a scene glows brighter in response to your attention. It is you, standing beneath a morning sun, reading a message that says, approved. You recognize the feeling before you recognize the form, that sudden warmth in the chest, that effortless smile. You do not need to reach into the scene. It has already accepted you. You breathe it in, you own it. Then the scene fades back to its steady glow. Satisfied that you have seen what was already true, you move on. Another shelf, another scene, you at a table counting what was once called money, but now feels like harmony. Bills have become music, numbers, notes of assurance. You sense laughter nearby, soft, unforced, the sound of ease. Every object in the room breathes the same quiet rhythm. Fulfilled, fulfilled, fulfilled. Continue walking. Each shelf greets you with its version of joy. A document signed and sealed, the ink still shining. A door opening into a house where your shoes already wait. A phone call that ends in laughter and gratitude. A balanced statement with no red lines, only calm columns of plenty. Each image is surrounded by a faint pulse, a living halo of feeling. When you draw near, the pulse enters your skin like the echo of your own heartbeat, and you feel it, the certainty that all these things have been, are being, will always be accomplished. In this chamber, time folds in on itself. Past, present, future are not steps, but sides of a single coin that glows between your fingers. You realize now that you have never been waiting for fulfillment. Fulfillment has been waiting for you to see it. Far ahead, a circular space opens. At its center stands a pedestal, carved from the same soft light as the shelves. Upon it lies a book. Its cover bears your name again. Calm, gold letters that seem to breathe. Approach it. Lay your hand on the cover. The material feels alive, like warm leather and silk woven together. When you open it, there are no printed words, only images that rise as if projected from within. The first image, a scene you once dreamed. You watch yourself there, confident, serene, surrounded by symbols of abundance. But this time, the air is different. There is no striving, no reaching. Everything in that scene acknowledges you as its rightful owner. You sense it bowing, gently, as though the world itself were tipping its hat. Turn the page. Another image, another fulfilled desire. Some are small, a simple smile, a bill paid, a message of gratitude. Some are large, a home, a creation, a love that feels like an old memory returned. Each image carries the same undertone. It is done. The book hums softly beneath your hand. Every image seems to send a vibration through your fingers, up your arm, into your chest. It feels like relief turned to gold. You realize the truth. These are not predictions, they are records. Records from the dimension where all desires are completed. And because imagination is the only reality, that dimension is the one that counts. You close the book, but its light remains, a warm pulse in your palm. Now, look around the chamber again. Something has changed. The shelves are no longer endless. They seem to spiral inward toward the center, forming a vast circle around you. The glow of every fulfilled desire joins into one field of light that breathes with you. The chamber itself becomes a living heart, and you stand at its center, not as a visitor, but as its pulse. Take a deep breath. Feel how full the air is, heavy with sweetness, weightless with grace. This is what the end feels like. Not excitement, not hope, but ease. Whisper now softly from within the chest where the seed was planted. Everything I have imagined exists already. I live among completed things. I rest in the fulfillment of my desires. I am the satisfaction I once sought. Let the words ripple out. You can almost hear the echo return from the chamber walls. Thousands of fulfilled scenes answering back. Yes. Each yes, a soft shimmer. Each shimmer a thread of light, weaving itself into your waking world. Walk slowly through the aisle once more. As you pass, each scene you look at nods, a silent promise to appear again in physical form, in its own perfect timing. You need not pick them up or claim them. Recognition is possession. You have already taken them into yourself by feeling their truth. At the far end of the chamber, another doorway opens. Beyond it, the light is even softer, almost liquid. You pause and glance back at the shelves, at the infinite reflections of your fulfilled desires. They do not fade, they glow steadily, like stars that will remain while you travel onward. You whisper one final sentence into the golden air. Thank you. I remember now. The chamber responds, not with sound, but with warmth. It wraps around you like a gentle tide, and you feel yourself being carried again out through the archway and into a brighter stillness. As you cross the threshold, you understand something simple and final. Fulfillment is not something you reach. It is the ground you have always walked upon. Carry that knowing with you. The seed in your chest stirs once more, and from it a quiet whisper rises, the same voice that welcomed you home before, now saying, "This is your natural state. Rest here." And with that, you drift deeper, back into golden stillness, safe, provided for, ready to receive the next vision that imagination will show you. And as that gentle tide carries you beyond the arch, the light around you thins into a luminous hush, a living quiet that smells faintly of clean paper and warm sunlight after rain. There is no break, no edge, only a slow turning, as if the chamber of completed desires were exhaling you into its next expression. The air grows taller. You look up. From a ceiling so high it feels like sky, the first envelope drifts down, then another, and another. They fall the way snow falls in a dream, unhurried, soundless, weightless, each one turning lazily through the golden air. Cream, pearl, soft white, a few with a whisper of rose, every flap sealed with a warm sheen, every face bearing your name in handwriting that feels older than memory and more intimate than a touch. The letters shimmer as you read them, not printed, but known. Your name is written the way truth writes itself. You lift your hand without thinking. An envelope changes course, as if it has been listening to you since before you were born, and settles into your palm with the gravity of a promise already kept. It doesn't feel like paper. It feels like reassurance made tangible, a just right weight, a softness at the edges, a temperature that matches your skin. Before you open it, the body already knows, this is mine. All around you, miles of envelopes descend in slow constellations, a gentle, endless rain. They do not rush you, and you feel no urgency. There is no scarcity in this hall. Overflow is the only climate here. You could lie down and let them blanket you, and still the supply would not diminish. You could hand them to 1,000 others, and the fall would become richer, not thinner. Abundance is not a pile that shrinks when touched, it is a spring that rises when acknowledged. You loosen your fingers. The envelope in your palm sighs open, with a soft thread of light. Inside, a single card, paid in full. The words don't sit on the card, they glow through it, and as the glow touches your chest, something in your nervous system unwinds like a knotted ribbon. An old tension you stopped noticing melts at the root. Your breath changes. The heart answers with a deep, unforced yes. Another envelope alights at your wrist, as polite as a bird. It opens itself, and you catch the fragrance of newness, that bright, paper-clean scent of beginnings. A message reveals, deposit received. You don't need numbers to feel the sufficiency in it. The body recognizes enoughness the way it recognizes warmth. You inhale. The scene from the chamber of completed desires pulses once. Recognition is possession. Let one settle on your shoulder. It unseals like a petal, revealing a short line in silver ink, bonus approved. Another crosses your path and unspools a thin ribbon of sound, the quiet chime your phone makes when funds arrive. You don't reach for anything, you receive. It is the easiest motion in the world. A motion that contains no motion, the bare, effortless allowing of what is already yours. Listen. Beneath the snowfall of envelopes is a music so subtle, you might call it silence, until you notice its rhythm. It is the sound of answered prayers arriving without drama. It is the hush of a life that no longer strains. It is the soft applause of fulfilled scenes walking toward you, because you looked at them with love. Open a few more, slowly, like tasting fruit. Refund processed. A soft warmth slides down your spine and pools at the base like security, sitting in a comfortable chair. Grant awarded. Your shoulders roll back. Your chest opens to meet the future with a relaxed smile. Royalty released. You sense an older self somewhere inside you nodding. Of course, overpayment credited. The word credited lingers as a vibration that keeps crediting you long after the card dissolves. Contract signed. You feel the handshake, not as a squeeze, but as a transfer of certainty. Investment matured. The phrase lands like ripe fruit in the palm, a weight that promises sweetness. Debt forgiven. The letters break into tiny golden birds and fly straight through your sternum, clearing what was never yours to carry. Gift received. The room brightens half a shade, as if generosity itself were a form of light. Notice how none of this startles you. Gratitude rises. Yes, round, warm, generous, but surprise does not. In this hall, surprise would be out of place. You are not the stranger to whom good things happen. You are the source through which good things flow. Money is not arriving from out there. These envelopes are the outer echo of your inner state. The world is yourself pushed out, and tonight the self you are pushing out is relief, ease, sufficiency, more than enough. Let 3 envelopes land in your open palms at once. They balance there, light as breath. Before they open, feel the truth. There is no such thing as too much when you are the ocean. The fear of overflow belongs to those who believe. The cup must protect itself from the river. You are not the cup. You are the current. They part together. Surprise deposit, early payment. Inheritance released. The words don't even need to be read. They pass through your skin like rain through sunlit leaves, leaving behind the cool of certainty and a fragrance you will recognize tomorrow when a note arrives, or a friend calls, or a door opens that you didn't know was even a door. The bridge of incidents is already building itself, board by board, detail by detail, too natural to be called a miracle, too precise to be called chance. Walk. The floor listens. Where a step would make sound, it makes gratitude instead. You move through the slow snowfall, and the air makes room for you the way water makes room for a ship, effortlessly, gladly. A childlike part of you wants to spin, to laugh, to hold out both arms and let blessings pile up to your elbows. You may. The hall smiles when you play. Joy is a valid signature. Joy is a way of signing your name. Hold still. Lift your face. Let an envelope touch your forehead like a blessing. It opens into light that drifts down your spine and gathers at the seed in your chest. Another touches your throat. You swallow ease. Another rests over your heart. Your heartbeat answers. Steady, steady, steady. A small one, almost shy, lands at the hollow of your palm. Inside, no words at all, only a feeling as clear as language. Anytime you reach, it will be there before your hand arrives. You do not need to open them all. In fact, you cannot. Not because you are limited, but because this is unending. Endless envelopes would require an endless day. And you were not made to spend your life inventorying gifts. You were made to live them. So you do the most powerful thing, you accept the whole of it at once. Acceptance is the master key. Recognition is receipt. Say it softly in the quiet that belongs to you. I allow overflow. I receive with ease. I am provided for, always. I am the source from which channels arise. Everything with my name on it finds me in perfect peace. Feel what those words feel like when they are not requests but reports. Feel how the body answers to a report with calm, with warmth, with the downshift that says we're home. Now something beautiful begins. As the envelopes continue to fall, some never make it to your hands. Mid-descent, they soften into threads of light and stitch themselves into your life. A line to your bank, a line to your work, a line to your home, a line to a stranger you will call friend. Some thread into people you already know, turning their faces toward you at just the right hour, with just the right sentence. Some become keys, some become open windows. Some become laughter. All of them become done. Watch how the whole rearranges itself without moving. The snowfall is still snowfall, but you can see now that it is patterned, like a flock of birds changing direction as one body. Your acceptance gives the pattern its shape. Your gratitude gives it speed. Your rest gives it duration. This is why you do not strain. Strain kinks the river. Rest lets it run. Bring your hands to your chest, over the place where the seed was planted. The envelopes closest to you pause in the air, as if listening for a heartbeat. When you exhale, they open together and become a soft golden mist that enters your sternum and settles where the seed glows. The seed swells, not outward, not bigger, but truer. Roots of light run from it in every direction, like veins, like paths, like agreements signed in silence. You feel them traveling outward into the theater of your days, connecting exact places to exact moments with exact grace. There is no effort in this. Seeds know how to grow. Law knows how to fulfill itself. Whisper, with the gentleness you would use to speak to someone already safe. I do not chase. I allow. I do not hope. I know. I do not count to feel secure. I feel secure, and the numbers count themselves. Everything bearing my name belongs to me by right of consciousness. It is already mine, and I receive it now. Let the whole answer. It answers the way water answers a hand, by fitting itself perfectly around you without struggle. The fall continues. You smile because you feel the truth more deeply than any evidence could prove. Evidence is the lagging indicator. Feeling is the leading cause. You are standing in your cause right now. Take one last slow look upward. Watch the farthest envelopes fall from that star-high ceiling. Watch them drift. Watch them choose you. There is a tenderness in their descent, a fidelity that makes your eyes warm. They have been traveling to you since the moment you dared to feel as if you already had. They know your name because your name is the state you live in. Tonight, that state is abundance. Turn your palms outward as if blessing the whole scene. The snowfall widens, the hall brightens, and for a breath, you glimpse what has always been true. There is no difference between the temple, the chamber, and this hall. They are faces of one reality. Your imagination, clothed in forms it knew would persuade your heart. The world you will open your eyes to is simply this. Light slowed down. Lower your hands. Feel the slow, luxurious weight of peace filling your limbs. Let your jaw soften. Let the tongue rest. Let the breath be as unforced as a tide. The fall continues softly behind your closed eyes, even as your mind grows drowsy. It can. It will. The law does not sleep when you do. It works best when you do. As you drift, let one final envelope settle against your heart and dissolve into a sentence so quiet you might miss it if you were trying. You are wealth in motion, and motion is already underway. Breathe, receive, rest. And as you step back into that golden hush, you notice the quiet room inside your chest opening into sky. The walls become horizon. The floor turns to a wide stone quay, warm from the sun. The air changes. It tastes of salt and soft metal, the way coins feel when they've been warmed in a friendly palm. Far ahead, water breathes in long, unhurried strokes. The sea is calm but alive, a living sheet of hammered gold catching light as if it were remembering something about you. Walk toward the edge. Each footfall is unhurried, certain, as if the stone knows your stride. There is a bell here on a simple post, its bronze lip polished by weather and welcome. A small plaque beneath it, cut in the same hand that wrote your name on the door, reads, Freeport. All debts settled, all arrivals welcome. You touch the plaque and feel the echo of the vault still humming in your ribs. Nothing to pay to enter, nothing to pay to receive. You are the harbor master, because you are the harbor. Raise your eyes to the line where sea meets sky. Shapes gather there, tall masts, high prows, sails that shine as if woven from morning. They are not hurried. They approach with the patient certainty of a tide that has already turned. As they draw closer, you can read their names, lettered along each gilded hull in a hand, so elegant it feels like breath. ease, overflow, generosity, surplus, dividends. You smile without deciding to. These are not strangers, they are your own states returning home, arriving under your flag. Breathe in and feel the wind lean toward you. Breathe out and watch the first ship come alongside, ropes arcing through the air with the sailor's perfect throw, except there is no struggle, only choreography. The bollards accept the lines, the hull kisses the fenders, the sea nods, a gangplank lowers with the politeness of an old friend. Taking a seat at your table, ease arrives first, as it should. Her wood smells faintly of cedar and sun. The crew steps onto the quay, with the grace of people who never learn to rush. Their hands are empty, because their cargo is already in the air, already moving, pathways clearing, doors that would have squeaked swinging wide without sound, calendars rearranging themselves like clouds parting. Crates slide down the gangplank on their own, labeled in a handwriting you recognize, frictionless payments, smooth timing, simple yes, right place, right time. As each crate touches stone, you feel a strap you didn't know you wore slide off your shoulders. Your neck lengthens. The jaw unhooks yet again. The breath deepens. Not because you try, but because there is suddenly nothing to push. Let ease unload you. Stand there and allow it. Feel that subtle shift in your belly. The difference between I must make this happen and it is happening because I allow it. Notice how the stones under your feet feel wider. How the horizon seems to step closer to greet you. Whisper within, as natural as a tide. My wealth moves by the path of least resistance. Everything that belongs to me finds me without strain. Watch as the ship's manifest stamps itself in gold, cleared. Now the second hull glides in under a luminous pennant that spills light like water. Overflow. Her decks gleam as if oiled with sunlight. You can hear it before you see it. A soft, musical abundance, the sound the world makes when it forgets to measure and remembers to give. The crew lowers great rounded casks and broad-lidded chests. Their labels are simple and shameless. More than enough excess for joy. After the bill, still plenty spillover blessings. When the first chest touches the quay, a thin trickle of gold runs over the lip and down the side. Not coins, not metal, but capacity. You feel your chest expand by a notch, as if the ribcage itself were agreeing to hold more light, more ease, more resource without apology. Allow yourself to receive this increase without the reflex to shrink. If an old thought peeks up, is this too much? Do I deserve this? Let it find only water and sky. Place a quiet hand over your heartbone and answer without words. Natural, that single word is a harbor bell. You can feel it ring through your sternum. The chests keep coming, and none of them deplete the ship. Overflow cannot be emptied. It can only be allowed or resisted. You are allowing. The third prow cuts the light like a smile. Painted along the bow, a single word that behaves like a door opening outward. Generosity. As her lines fall across your bollards, you feel a current run down the quay and out into the city that will greet you tomorrow. This ship carries not only arrival, but circulation. Long crates arrive, wrapped in friendly cloth. Joyful giving, sponsorships, surprise gifts out, funding others' dreams. The crew looks to you, not for permission, but for direction. You point and see how everything you release arcs and returns, multiplier intact. A small crate marked anonymous blessings slides into your hands. It is as light as a laugh. You hand it off to the air, and in handing it, your palms learn again that giving is not loss. It is the same movement as breath, the same rhythm that keeps the sea alive. Feel your nervous system. Learn this tide in, out, in, out. Wealth does not stagnate in you. It flows through you, and therefore cannot fail to return. Say softly, the way you would greet a loved one arriving home, I give because I am full. I am full because I give. My generosity is my proof that I trust the source within me. Notice how generosity's manifest marks every outflow with a mirror entry under increase. It's not bookkeeping, it's law. A fourth hull, lower and wide, rests against the quay, as if it has been here forever. Surplus. She is not flashy, but she radiates the comfort of a well-built home. Her crew moves with the unshowy skill of people who make things last. What she carries looks plain until you touch it. Cushion, margin, reserves, breathing room. When a crate stamped paid expenses plus plenty left slides into your space, your body gives a response so quiet it could be missed, settling. The nervous system discovers there is no edge to cling to, no cliff to avoid. There is floor upon floor beneath you. You are held by more than enough. Let surplus put its weight in the right places, under your feet, behind your lower back, like a hand steadying your shoulder as you stand to speak. Feel the pleasure of deferred maintenance suddenly completed in a single afternoon, the soft thrill of a pantry that restocks itself, the quiet joy of saying yes because you don't need to ask, can we afford it? The harbor smells for a moment like bread just out of the oven. You understand why fear dissolves in the presence of a storehouse. It was never about numbers. It was about safety. And you are safe. The fifth ship moves like a thought that keeps returning with gifts, dividends. She is easy to miss at first because she makes no noise. But when you look, you cannot look away. A steady bell rings aboard her, not loud, but perfectly timed. The crew steps down and begins laying out packages small and precise. Royalties, renewals, interest paid, licensing, subscriptions, residuals. These are the wealth streams that arrive while you sleep, while you laugh, while you nap in a chair and forget to try. You pick up a slim envelope marked again and smile at the word, because it is the whole point. You do not earn these with sweat. You receive them by identity. Let dividends teach yourselves the feeling of money working, while I rest. Close your eyes for a breath and imagine that tiny bell ringing somewhere inside your timeline. Each ring is another arrival, not flashy, not rare, rhythmic. The kind of rhythm that becomes a background music you only notice when it stops, except it doesn't stop. You recognize here the deep sanity of sequences: seed, growth, fruit, reseed. The law impartial and exact, in the form of a ledger that updates itself. Stand in the midst of this harbor and take it in. Crews moving without haste. Crates opening by themselves, as if the wood were glad to reveal its content. No shouting, no bargaining, no rush, only arrivals. Feel how your body retunes to this pace, how your heart decides it can beat a little slower and still deliver you more life. Along the quay, a long table has been set, as if in answer to the vault's dignified desk. A parchment lies there, bright as cream, and at the top in that familiar script, Harbor Manifest, received in good order. You do not need to list every item. The paper remembers. All it asks is your name, written not as you were when you worried, but as you are here. The you who is a free port, a lighthouse, a quay that can welcome 10,000 tons of good without strain. Take the pen. The ink glows like it has learned the color of your certainty. Sign. As the last letter curls into itself, the bell by your elbow rings once, on its own, clean and absolute. The sea answers with a single, bright shimmer. Look down the line of masts. Beyond the 5 you named, smaller tenders and swift cutters slip into view. Little boats called refund, rebate, back pay, gift card, paid early, opportunity call, unexpected client. Perfect timing. They nosing between the larger hulls like friendly dogs, dropping off parcels, wrapped in simple twine, a discount you hadn't looked for, an introduction made without your asking, a message that says, we've been meaning to reach out. They do not ask you to be surprised. They ask you to be ready. Kneel and touch the water. It is warmer than you expect, and it leaves a line of light along your finger where it passes. Drag that finger slowly and watch the current follow, subtle but obedient. This is how attention works. This is how assumption works. You are not pushing the sea. You are showing it where you wish to be carried. The lighthouse at the mouth of the harbor blinks, a gold eye, and you understand the light is your inner conviction. Ships do not come because they love the stones, they come because of the light. Stand again and look up at the names painted on those prows. Let each one slide into your chest, like a key, finding its hymn, ease. I receive without strain. Overflow, there is more than enough, and then more. Generosity, what flows through me multiplies. Surplus. After everything, I am still full. Dividends. My wealth repeats itself while I rest. Let the words be felt rather than said. Feel how, as each sinks in, a corresponding place in your life shifts, like a chair pushed back from a crowded table, to make room for you to sit comfortably at the head. The harbor master in you, which is to say, the simple sovereign self, takes the bell rope in hand, not to demand, to signal. Give it 3 soft pulls. Hear the notes go out across the water and echo back off the hulls, off the city, off the morning you will soon meet. You are not calling from lack. You are announcing presence. You are saying to life, dock here. This quay is ready. This free port is open. This light is steady. Notice a final kindness. Nothing in you is asking how these ships were built, which ocean they crossed, what trade winds they used. Those questions belong to the old state that believed provision lived elsewhere. Here provision lives in you, and the world is yourself pushed out. The ships are simply the verse your harbor sings back to you. The bridge of incidents will carry their cargo into your day, in forms you can recognize: a message, a transfer, a discount, a chance meeting, a yes where once there was a maybe. Your part is not to chase them down the street. Your part is to keep the quay clear, the light steady, the plaque shining. All depths settled, all arrivals welcome. Let your gaze sweep the horizon once more. The line where sky meets sea feels closer now, as if the world itself leaned in to hear you breathe. Breathe in, and the sails, on ease, stir. Breathe out, and another chest from overflow touches stone with a soft, friendly thud. Breathe in, and a small parcel from dividends rests by your foot, with the word, again smiling up at you. Breathe out, and a tender named perfect timing kisses the quay and releases a letter with your name on it. You do not open it yet. You don't need to. You can feel its content through the paper. Yes. Turn slightly and take in the lighthouse one more time. It is not out there. It stands exactly where your heart stands, a column of quiet radiance that never argues with fog. When you sleep, it will keep shining. When you wake, it will still be shining. That is what light does when it knows itself. You do not need to dismiss the ships. They will not leave because you turn your back. Harbors do not chase their vessels. They rest in their nature, and vessels come. So tuck your hands loosely at your sides. Let your chin tilt down in the smallest nod to the horizon. Feel the stone quay become floor once more, the sea become breath, the bell become that subtle ring within your chest. When a truth has landed, the harbor folds itself into you. The way the vault did. You carry it now, the piers and the pennants, the manifests and the light, all of it nested inside the simple rise and fall of your breathing. As you drift deeper, let one more sentence ripple through, not as a wish but as a weather report describing what already is. Ships of good dock where I am. Every tide favors me. My world delivers by law what I have assumed by love. And with that, lower gently into the quiet below thought. In this night, cargo is unloading. In this night, ledgers are updating. In this night, the sea is writing you a welcome in gold. Rest. The harbor is open. The light is steady. The arrivals are assured. And as the harbor folds itself into your breathing, the keystones soften to a path of warm flagstone curving inland, between 2 low pillars, each carved with the same simple promise you saw on the bell: all arrivals welcome. A gate of living vines swings open without a sound. From the corner of your eye, you notice slim channels of light water slipping away from the docks, feeding the land, the tide that carried ease, overflow, generosity, surplus, and dividends. now becomes an invisible irrigation, threading under soil you have loved before you ever walked here. Step through. The air changes again. Salted gold becomes honeyed green. The light is gentler here, as if the sun had learned to speak in whispers. A hush like gratitude lives between leaves. The ground meets your feet with that soft resilience only a well-kept garden knows. Each blade of grass seems to angle itself so you feel supported, not tickled. Somewhere, a bee hums. Not a busy sound, but a round, contented vowel. It sounds, strangely and perfectly, like the word again. Look up. The trees are old and new at once, their trunks braided like hands that have known work and chosen gentleness. From their branches hang coins the size of apricots, pairs of polished brass, figs made of bright alloy, pomegranates that gleam as if each aerial were a tiny sun, not metal exactly, more like sunlight that decided to take a shape you can hold. The boughs bend toward you, under their own generosity, as a host who insists you take seconds. No ladder, no strain. Everything lowers itself to your reach because you belong here. Walk deeper, along a narrow bed of crushed shells that crackle faintly underfoot. With each step, the labels on the trees come into focus, not nailed signs, but words breathed into the bark itself, rising and falling with the living skin. One whispers royalties, another licensing, another interest. Others murmur rents, commissions, renewals, subscriptions, stipends, residuals. None of them brag. They simply name the ways your inner certainty translates into outward rhythm. Hold out your palm beneath the nearest branch. The fruit there is warm with sunlight and heavier than it looks. Not heavy as in burden, heavy as in real. When it drops, it lands in your hand with the softest chime, and the sound writes itself through your chest the way a bell from the harbor did. Paid, paid, paid. Turn it over with your thumb, and notice what is etched across its skin. A single word in friendly script. Effortless. Bring it to your nose. It smells faintly of mint and linen, the scent of mornings when deposits arrive before you even check. Bite. And the flesh resolves into a feeling more than a taste, the simple bodily knowledge that money has learned your home address and your resting heart rate. As you swallow, a ribbon of warmth glides down your throat and blooms in your belly like a small returning sun. In your ears, that bee, that again. There is a woven basket waiting where two paths meet, made of the same golden vine that framed the gate. Its rim reads harvest happens while you rest. Set the fruit inside. It doesn't thud. It settles, as if the basket were a ledger being updated without your effort. Watch as the numbers emboss themselves along the rim, not digits exactly, but the shapes of days and nights, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. Each interval glows in its own cadence, like fireflies that memorize a song and blink it back to you after dark. Let your attention wander, it's safe to, and notice how this garden grows. There are no sprinklers ticking, no hoses dragging troughs through the soil. The irrigation is quiet and certain, fed from the harbor you just left, light water flowing under stone, wicking up through root and leaf. Your ease ship is the loam itself. Overflow is the aquifer, generosity is the wind that shakes ripe fruit to the open hand. Surplus is the mulch that keeps everything moist even when the day runs hot. Dividends is the rhythm by which blossom becomes fruit, then blossom again, without anyone issuing commands. What you assumed at the quay now photosynthesizes here. The gardener appears, if you could call them that. A presence you know as your own deeper self. The one who sleeps without forgetting. They do not carry tools. They carry noticing. When their gaze touches a branch, it thickens. When they sweep a palm under a leaf, the underside flashes silver and the whole tree sighs. You understand. In this place, attention is sunlight. Gratitude is water. Rest is night. Feeling is the secret heat inside every seed. Let your eye catch on a little patch where small, fast things used to grow. Worry, urgency, prove it. They look like weeds until you kneel. Touch one, and it comes up with the root intact, no effort, because the soil here prefers different company. Lay it on the stone path and watch it evaporate into a harmless sparkle. The gardener nods, not approving, simply affirming. You didn't fix the garden. You remembered it. A branch brushes your shoulder. Turn. This tree bears discs that clink softly together like polite teaspoons. Across each disc is etched an everyday kindness. Refund arrived, back pay released, account credited, paid early, found money. Pluck one, and as you do another swells to take its place, as if the tree were practicing abundance just to stay limber. Laugh if you want to. Joy is a nutrient here. Along the far edge, a hedge laced with flowers leans out over a low wall. The blooms are stamped with words that used to feel far away, and now feel like weather. Unsolicited opportunity, perfect introduction. Right place, right time. Lean closer. The perfume is recognition. The petals are the exact texture of a yes spoken by someone you didn't know you'd meet today. Pause. Bring one hand to your heart and one to your belly. Feel how your body has already adjusted its baseline to this ecology. No background hum of scarcity. No rehearsed tension under the ribs. That quiet spreading through your diaphragm is not laziness. It is readiness, the kind that doesn't need a push because it lives at the right angle to receive. Overhead, the canopy makes coins of light on the ground. As the breeze moves, the coins slide and overlap. A slow, generous counting that no one is doing. Let your eyes follow one bright circle as it travels across your instep, your wrist, the basket's rim. Where it pauses, a new fruit ripens before your eyes, goes from green to gold in a single patient breath. Reach up and support the branch as it bows. Not because it needs you, but because helping is another way of saying, I trust this to continue. Hear the law at work in the hush between leaves. What you assume and feel as true repeats itself without your supervision. You do not have to make this garden produce. You have already made it yours. The subconscious gardener keeps the covenant while you nap in the shade. Your only role is to return with your gaze, with your gratitude, with your willingness to let it be easy. Every time you do, roots thicken, new shoots appear, and another season begins without announcement. Walk now toward a clearing where a simple wooden table stands. On it, jars labeled in that friendly hand you've been reading all night. Sleep earnings, Sunday rest deposits, quiet afternoon. Income, background blessings, lift a jar and tilt it. Inside, instead of coin or paper, a slow golden current moves, as if the sea decided to learn the manners of a brook. When you set it back, your palm is warm, as if you had been holding a purring animal. You understand, with your skin, what the mind used to fight. Effort is not the engine here. Identity is. A small path branches to a nursery bed where saplings wait in orderly joy, each with a tag tied to its slender stem. New idea licensed, content evergreen, course that teaches. While I sleep, song that pays me forever, equity that appreciates. You kneel and press two fingers into the soil. It receives you like a promise. Choose one sapling and transplant it with your attention alone. In this place, your decision is a spade, your assumption the water, your naturalness the fertilizer. When you stand, the sapling is already taller. By nightfall, which in this garden is simply when you decide to close your eyes, fruit will begin. Let a breeze move through you, the way it moves through the trees. The coins above give a small, laughing chorus. The bee says its one word, clear as a bell. Again, you glance at your basket. It is fuller than when you last looked, though you were not watching it. This is how you know the state has taken. When you forget to check and are greeted by more anyway, you have crossed from making to being. Take one last slow turn, letting your gaze land where it wants. The gate is still open behind you, a ribbon of sea light winking along the channels that feed this place. The harbor is not gone, it is simply wearing leaves. Touch the nearest trunk and feel, through bark, the faraway steadiness of stone piers, the soft lift of anchored hulls, the faint ring of the bell that means welcome. The ships spring, the garden grows, and both are you. Before you go, which only means before you let sleep take you deeper into the root work, speak to the soil the way you would thank a dear friend without fuss. I allow wealth to ripen around me and fall into my hands. My income is effortless because my identity is settled. What belongs to me repeats itself while I rest. Again and again and again. The leaves answer in their language. Silver, gold, green, and the answering breeze grazes your cheek in a way that feels like being named. Turn toward the path. The vine gate nods you through. Carry the basket without strain. It rides on your hip as if this gesture has always been yours. As you cross back toward the quiet door of your inner house, you can still hear the soft clink of fruit behind you, the whisper of numbers updating themselves, the bees' faithful hymn keeping time with your own slow breath. You do not leave the garden. You bring it with you. Its shade in your calm, its sweetness in your voice, its rhythm in your sleep. And as the night deepens, every tree remembers you in the only way that matters here, by bearing more. The path from the garden widens almost without your noticing. The vine gate sighs close behind you, and the hush of leaves gives way to a low, joyful murmur, as if the earth itself were preparing to welcome you in a new language. Lanterns begin appearing along the path, some hanging from branches, some resting on the ground like patient little suns, guiding you toward a wide meadow, where the sky opens like a blessing. There, a long table waits beneath the open night, dressed in soft linen the color of moonlight. Candles lift quiet halos along its length. The air carries the warm fragrance of ripe fruit from the trees you've just visited, the clean brightness of fresh water, a hint of bread just out of an unseen oven. The music comes on the breeze first, one clear instrument, then another, and then laughter, low and easy, braided through with the sound of chairs sliding back. As people rise to greet you, notice the faces. Some are the ones you love. Some are faces you somehow already know, though you couldn't say from where. Some are qualities wearing faces, patience with kind eyes, courage with a weathered smile, joy with the sort of laughter that blesses the room simply by appearing. They all turn toward you in the same instant, and the expression is identical. Recognition, not surprise, not envy. Recognition. You are not late. You are not early. You are right on time for a feast that was set the moment you dared to feel the end. A chair has been kept for you, not at the head of the table, but at the heart of it. Your name is written there in that friendly hand you have been reading all evening, looped once with quiet delight. When you sit, the linen feels like kindness under your fingertips, and the chair receives your weight as if it has been practicing. A gentle warmth moves through the bones of your hips and up your spine. Belonging has a temperature. Look at what's before you. Platters piled high, and yet nothing shouts. Bowls whose surfaces shine with a light that is not only candlelight. Pitchers that somehow fill themselves while you are speaking. The fruits of the garden have become courses. The first tastes like relief, the second like clarity, the third like a small, precise yes that clicks into place where a no used to live. There is bread that breaks without crumbs and reforms itself for the next hands that reach. There is salt that tastes like laughter. There is honey that carries the exact tone of the word welcome. Let yourself be served. Feel the ease with which plates arrive. Needs are met, refills happen. No one hurries, no one hoards. Abundance here is not a performance. It is the etiquette of the house. The more the platters circulate, the more they brim. Each time you choose to pass something along, it returns richer. That is the law showing you its hands under the table. What you accept as true and share as natural multiplies while moving. Listen. Conversations ring around you in bright, human chords, and every sentence seems to carry a small benediction. Someone to your left, gratitude, wearing your grandmother's cheekbones, leans in and says, "Thank you for being you." Someone to your right, opportunity with the freckled nose, taps a glass softly, and says, "I've been looking for you." Across the table, Ease raises her eyebrows in a way that means, "Isn't this simple? After all," and you realize, you have spent years rehearsing a question you no longer need. How will it happen? Tonight you are eating its answer, and it tastes like obviousness. Reach now for the pitcher marked in small gold letters, "Enough and more." Pour, and watch how the surface lifts to meet the lip before a single drop falls, so that nothing spills. Take a sip. Notice the way your chest loosens, the same looseness you felt in the garden, only now it expands beyond you, as if your exhale were being shared by everyone present. In this banquet, gratitude is not something you produce, it is a climate you breathe. The music draws a little closer, and with it come those small humming confirmations that followed you from the harbor and the grove. A clink like coins becoming melody, the soft percussion of envelopes sealing themselves with paid in full, the far-off bell of all arrivals. Welcome carried inland on a friendly wind. You are not imagining a world divided from this one. You are being shown that it is one world, and it answers to one law. Place your hand lightly on the table. Feel the grain. Old wood, resilient, still growing in its way by remembering light. Under your palm, something faint begins to write itself, not numbers, not promises, but moments. The smile of a stranger that opened a day. The ease of a bill arriving and being met without a ripple in your breath. A message that said money received, and your body, unstartled, answered of course. Gratitude strings these moments together like lights along a path you can find with your eyes closed. I tell you now, as I have always told those who came to me with worry, feeling is the secret. Gratitude for a gift not yet in hand, but already accepted within, arranges the outer scene. You are not bribing the world with manners. You are proving to your subconscious that the thing longed for is already yours. Gratitude is memory uttered in advance. So let's practice memory. Let the table fall into a gentle hush, as if a toast were about to be spoken. Close your eyes for one slow breath, and recall 5 ordinary graces from today. The weight of your pillow, the taste of water, the way your chest rose and fell even when you forgot to ask it to. A patch of light on a floor, a laugh that arrived when you needed nothing. Count them calmly in your inner voice. With each one, feel the room brighten a little, not with light, but with rightness. When you open your eyes, the candles seem to have learned something. Look at the faces again, and notice who else has come. People you will bless without ever knowing their names. A student who will receive a scholarship you fund because you can. A family whose rent you quietly cover because your surplus loves to become shelter. An artist whose work you commission because beauty is how you tithe. They raise their glasses to you from across the years, and the sound is the cleanest music you have heard tonight. The servers arrive, not staff exactly, more like the laws themselves wearing aprons. One carries a tray marked recurring goodness. Another places small dishes labeled back pay released, bonus announced, client paid early. A third sets down a covered bowl, lifts the lid, and with the softest plume of steam reveals unasked for help at the perfect time. Take what calls to you and pass the rest. There is no fear of running out. In this house, generosity is not a subtraction. It is the proof that you live from a source that refills while you reach. Let your attention widen to the far edge of the meadow. The masts of your ships are visible beyond the hedges. Ease, overflow, generosity, surplus, dividends, their sails dip once like a bow. From another direction, faint and lovely, comes the glow of your garden. You feel the ecosystem of your life knitting itself in your chest. A harbor that welcomes, a grove that yields, a table that multiplies. None of it competes. All of it cooperates, under one assumption: you are the one for whom abundance is natural. Someone rises with a small bell and gives it one clear ring. A word they say and glance to you, not for permission, but for presence. The word is simple: thank you. Not aimed upward, outward, inward. aimed everywhere at once. The sound ripples down the table, and the table replies, plates renew, glasses brighten, chairs draw a fraction closer to one another. You feel it settle into your bones. Thank you is not what you say after you receive. Thank you is how you hold what is already yours. Let's make it physical. Place your palm over your heart and another over your belly. Speak softly where only you can hear. I am safe. I am provided for. I am ready to receive. Let the first phrase smooth your ribs from the inside, the second warm the center of you like good bread. The third lengthen your spine as if a crown you cannot see were being adjusted to sit just right. Now add the truth that feeds this table. I give gladly because my supply is endless. I share freely because my source is within. Feel how those words remove the last small hooks of habit from your hands. Open hands make the best receivers. A child appears at your elbow, the future disguised as curiosity. They hold a small plate and look up at you with the unguarded face you once wore when you knew the world would comply. You fill their plate without counting, and something strange and perfect happens. Your own plate grows a second layer you didn't know it could hold. The child laughs. You laugh. The table laughs. Scarcity cannot live in a room that knows that sound. Someone begins a rhythm with a fingertip on a glass. Another voice hums above it. Soon the whole table is breathing in time, and your breath finds the tempo without effort. With each inhale, feel the words arrive, already mine. With each exhale, let them answer. Of course. The music builds upon that call and response, and even the candles seem to sway. You are offered a small envelope, no stamp, no address, only your name in that same kind, looping script. Open it. Inside, a card with one sentence. Spend from identity, not from fear. Turn it over. A second sentence. Every gift you give becomes a corridor for more to return. Slip it into your pocket. Feel how your body says yes before your mind learns the phrasing. Now look down the table to where the night opens like a sea of velvet. The stars are not far, they are timely. One by one they seem to notice you noticing them, and they give a little more of themselves. The meadow breathes, the lanterns blink, as if in companionable agreement. A breeze carries the faintest hint of the harbor and the garden together, salt and leaf, and you smile, because they are both at the table now, in the bread, in the fruit, in the laughter, in your pulse. I say to you as one who has watched this law, dress itself in 1,000 dinners, 1,000 mornings. This feeling is the cause. Hold it lightly, as you would hold a child's hand while crossing a quiet street. No force, only guidance and gladness. Sleep will take this banquet into its own keeping. While you rest, the subconscious will set the chairs for tomorrow and lay out a fresh cloth. It will whisper to the ships. It will water the roots. It will fold napkins stamped paid in full, and you will wake to a world that has already adjusted itself to your gratitude. Rise for a moment and look along the table, eye to eye. Let each gaze you meet place something gentle and solid in your chest, a new normal. Make a small toast if you like, no glass needed. Only your voice. To the more than enough I already am. To the ease that multiplies when shared. To the love that funds my life. Hear the echo come back from 100 directions. All of them your own. Sit again. Feel the wood under your hands, the linen under your wrists, the quiet abundance under your breath. As the music softens, the candles don't go out. They become stars, almost without transition. The table doesn't end. It becomes the horizon. The banquet doesn't finish. It moves deeper into the night where the gardener keeps watch, where the ships dream of wind, where the soil remembers your name. And as your eyes grow heavy, know this with the same certainty. You now know the taste of honey and welcome. You do not have to carry this feast to keep it. It has already taken up residence in you. Gratitude will set the table again tomorrow. Generosity will send the invitations. Identity will cook. Feeling will bless. And life, so faithful, so exact, will arrive right on time, smiling with another covered dish, saying, "We saved you a seat." The laughter from the feast softens to a warm hush, and the last notes of music seem to lift their faces to the night, as if something higher were calling them home. You rise without hurry, feeling the table's blessing in the palms of your hands, and the meadow opens like a silent invitation. A breeze, kind, intelligent, meets you, and rather than pushing, it gathers you as gently as a parent gathers a drowsy child. You do not step forward so much as you are carried upward, as if gratitude itself had become an updraft. The ground releases you easily. The lanterns below turn to small constellations, and then the constellations above reply by drawing closer. The air is clean and bright, a gold so soft it feels like understanding. Higher and higher you rise until the garden, the harbor, the vault, the banquet, all your rooms of abundance, are one luminous thread in a tapestry that has no edge. You are weightless, yet more present than you have ever been. Notice how the body remembers to breathe without your instruction, how the breath becomes the law in motion, receiving, giving, one seamless movement of already mine. And of course, here, in this wide and holy sky, time loosens its grip. Seconds dissolve into a single sweetness of now. Effort loosens too, like a knot that never belonged in the rope. The mind, relieved of keeping score, becomes clear and wide, a lake with no wind upon it. In this clarity, you feel an old truth rise, not as a thought to be argued, but as direct experience, obvious and tender. I am the source. I am the channel. I am the I am imagining. The world has always been yourself pushed out. Tonight the sky shows you how it happens. Let your breath set the tempo. On the inhale, feel a gentle upward drift, as if each cell remembered its own helium. On the exhale, feel yourself expand in every direction at once, as if the horizon were an elastic ring moving outward to make room for who you have decided to be. No strain, no search, only the most natural permission. The gold light meets your skin and does not stop. It passes through, illuminating you from within the way. Certainty illuminates a decision. There is nothing to hold. There is only the truth holding you. Look down, not to measure distance, but to admire design. You can see the path you have walked tonight like a silk thread running through the tapestry. Temple, chamber, hall, vault, harbor, garden, banquet, each a facet, each a language. The law speaks fluently. From above, you also see what was always hidden. None of those rooms were separate. They were a single room turning its face to meet your willingness. Here, in the open sky, the room takes off its walls and calls itself you. A cloud approaches, luminous and slow, carrying images the way a river carries leaves. Let it pass through you. Upon it, simple scenes form and dissolve with the ease of a thought, a message that reads funds received and your body, unstartled, answering yes. A door opening to an opportunity you did not need to chase. A bill arriving and without drama being met. A friend saying it always works out for you, and your heart, calm as a Sunday morning, agreeing. The scenes do not ask for your effort. They ask only for your acceptance. Feel the law of reversibility here in the air itself. Just as wind makes a bird rise, so rising creates its own wind. Just as money brings relief, so relief brings money. Just as success evokes gratitude, so gratitude evokes success. This sky is your living proof that cause and effect are a two-way street, and you are the one who chooses the direction. Listen, there is a sound here that resembles silence in the way a symphony resembles a tuning note. Attend to it, and you will find the wordless knowledge it carries. Assume, and it is so. Persist, and it hardens into fact, not as command, but as kindness. The sky is not persuading you, it is reminding you. You have always been this open. You have always been this capable. You have always been the consciousness in which worlds appear. Let the gold brighten a degree. Feel it gather at the center of your chest, the same place where you planted the seed, and then ripple outward in waves that pass through skin, through air, through everything you have ever called outside. Watch how the ripples touch the garden below. Trees answer by bending toward fruit. They touch the harbor, sails billow without wind. They touch the vault, every ledger stamps itself. Paid in full, they touch your table. Chairs pull back for the yet unmet guests who will bless your life by needing what you have in overflow. Nothing resists. The outer is not a stranger to your inner. It is its reflection, delighted to be told what to be. Stars begin to drift toward you. Bright points of possibility, each carrying a tone, each tone carrying a gift. One star hums surplus and rests at your right palm like a coin that weighs almost nothing. Another sings dividends and settles at your left shoulder like a friendly bird. Another whispers recurring goodness and becomes a band of warmth around your middle, a quiet guarantee. More come unexpected refund, perfect timing. Paid early, ideal client, found money, effortless, yes. They do not crowd, they harmonize as if abundance were caudal by nature. Allow them to weave themselves into your field the way daylight weaves through a curtain, gently, completely. A question rises, soft, legitimate. If I am the source, why do I need channels? The sky answers with a smile. You can feel. Because you delight to receive your own gifts in 1,000 forms. The channel is not the cause. You are. The channel is the costume your cause wears to make the game delicious. Release every last urge to name the costume in advance. Let the law dress itself. Your only work is to feel the end and rest in the knowledge that the bridge will assemble under your feet, board by invisible board, as lightly as this air holds you now. Breathe again, slow and smooth. With the inhale, let 3 simple words rise and hang like lanterns in your mind. I already am. With the exhale, let the body answer without words, just a soft melting in the muscles of the face, the throat, the chest. You may notice that the personal story that has labored so hard to become worthy has nothing left to do here. Worthiness is a question that cannot live at this altitude. The sky does not ask, are you enough? The sky asks, who are you being? And then echoes it back as weather. Turn your attention toward the horizon. Though here the horizon is everywhere. It extends without edge, and somehow your gaze can take it in all at once. Within it move countless futures, not lined up like options to choose from, but emanating from you like rays. You do not chase them, you radiate them. Each ray is a perfectly completed end. Debts dissolved, abundance flowing, generosity effortless, work a channel of joy, rest rich and clean. Love moving through everything, the quiet competence of a life that matches its inner song. Choose if you like, or don't. The choosing is already happening in the feeling you are holding. The state selects the scene. Notice how the mind tries faintly to measure. Smile and let that sweet habit rest. You do not need to count what cannot end. You do not need to time what does not pass. You do not need to lock it in. Nothing here can fall out. The law is not fragile. The law is as stable as the breath. So stable as the breath. In, out. Receive, give. Assume, unfold. That rhythm will continue all night long, tending your seed while you sleep, weaving your bridges while you dream. Below, the banquet candles have become a second constellation. And above, the actual constellation bows to greet it. Between them you float, the meeting place of heaven and earth. And you understand why every scene tonight felt so natural. You were never visiting prosperity. Prosperity was visiting your decision. The more you dwell as the decision, the more the world bows. Let a final deepening happen now, no doing, just descent into certainty. The gold light softens from noon to late afternoon to that precise hour when everything looks both more itself and more blessed. If you were to name the sensation, you might call it home. Carry that wordless home to your breath. Inhale home. Exhale here. Inhale home. Exhale here. Feel how those two are the same place. Allow a few gentle truths to speak through you, not as affirmations you hope will work, but as observations of what is. I am the awareness in which abundance appears. I am the giver and the receiver of my good. I am the end assumed, and the bridge forms of itself. I am safe. I am provided for. I am ready to receive. With each sentence, something loosens in the belly, widens behind the eyes, warms the hands. The body believes you because belief is simply the body remembering its author. If there is any last corner of you, still waiting for permission, grant it now. Extend your palm to that small, cautious self and let it step into the gold. Tell it the truth in a tone it can trust. We are not trying anymore. We are being. Watch it, exhale in relief, and vanish into you. Not lost, but found. The sky, satisfied, lowers you as tenderly as it took you. You do not descend so much as you realize you are already everywhere you need to be. The bed receives you. The sheet greets you like an old friend. The pillow remembers the shape of your certainty, and as your eyelids grow pleasantly heavy, you keep only one instruction, simple as a lullaby: hold the feeling and let the night do the work. Just before sleep, the gold light gathers once more at your heart, not as a flare, but as a steady lamp, and you know with the calm knowledge that ends all questions, that there are no limits, no effort, no time here. Only the fact of your imaginal act and the inevitability of its echo. You do not chase, you do not wait, you do not wish, you are. And because you are, the world must become rest now. The law is faithful. In the morning your sky will be on the ground. The hush after the sky settles around you like a warm shawl, and the memory of that golden expanse lingers behind your eyes, a soft glow that says, without sound, keep breathing, keep allowing. As your body reclines, perfectly supported, as your breath evens itself without effort, you notice a sweetness in your chest like a spring thaw. Something gentle begins to move there, as if a snowfield of gratitude, warmed by your new certainty, were melting into the first bright trickle of a stream. You do not try to make it happen. You only notice the way it happens to you when you stop trying. Follow the feeling with your inner eye. It begins as a thread of light at the center of your chest, and then lengthens, widening into a brook that laughs softly over small stones of old beliefs. Those stones are familiar ideas like I must hold tight or I will lose. I must wait until I have more to be generous. I must be chosen by life before I can choose to overflow. Watch the water touch each stone and see how the sharp edges blur, then smooth, then disappear entirely beneath the steady mercy of movement. The brook becomes a stream. The stream becomes a river. It is not outside you. It is moving through you, as naturally as breath moves through lungs, and as faithfully as the tide returns to the shore. This is the nature of abundance to circulate. Listen to the river. It speaks the language of your own heart, a language older than worry and kinder than reason. Inhale slowly, and feel the current gather, cool and clean, drawing through you like a welcome. Exhale gently, and feel that same current flow forward, out from you, warm now, carrying your signature, your blessing, your decision. Receiving, giving. In, out, a single law in two lovely directions. This is the rhythm of wealth, circulation. The banks of this river are lit with the same gold you met in the sky, that soft light of knowing. Along the left bank, the trees you tended in the garden of effortless income bend again with fruit, not because you grasp, but because you allow. Along the right bank, lanterns from the banquet of gratitude glow and bow as you pass, each flame an acknowledgement. You have more than enough to share, and sharing becomes more than enough. There is no hurry in this movement. There is only inevitability. Let me show you how giving truly works. The world has taught many to imagine giving as subtraction, a less that must be endured. But the law knows a different arithmetic. The more the river moves, the more it gathers. The more freely it enters and leaves you, the broader and deeper it becomes. Stagnation is the only poverty. Circulation is the only wealth. As you float upon this current, feel that truth settle into your bones, the way warm water settles into tired muscles. There is no loss in love. There is no lack in giving. There is only expansion. You drift toward a bend where the water widens to reflect a sky that looks like home. Beneath the surface, coins of light move like playful fish. They are not money yet. They are the feeling of money, the living cause that precedes every outer form: ease, sufficiency, generosity, delight, the quiet confidence of I can. When you place your hand in the water, these coins gather, not to be clutched, but to be blessed. Lift your wet palm and watch drops, each one a possibility, fall back into the river and multiply the current. The cause is always the same. The state you consent to be. Tonight you consent to be circulation itself. A small boat glides close without a sound. It is the size of a cradle, and made of something that looks like polished walnut and forgiveness. Climb in. The moment you rest your weight in its curve, the boat knows what to do. It carries you forward, with no oar, no struggle, no need to steer. The river is your subconscious in motion, and it already knows the way. On the shore, figures appear, faces you love, faces you will love, and faces you may never see, but for whom your life will still be a blessing. As you pass, each figure lifts a hand, and the air between you becomes a living bridge. You feel resources flow across that bridge, sometimes as money, sometimes as time, sometimes as a word that arrives like rain to a dry field. You feel inspiration cross back to you, fresh and surprising, as if your gift had come home in a new suit of clothes. Watch the exchange without counting. The river counts for you, and its mathematics are perfect. A child stands at the water's edge, holding a small wooden box to her chest. Without speaking, you understand. In your new nature, you have something for her. You do not weigh the box. You do not compare today to yesterday. You simply reach within and place a bright envelope in her hands. An envelope that will open into an instrument, a book, a door, whatever the Lord chooses as its costume. The child's eyes shine the way windows shine when the sun moves from behind a cloud. The boat carries you on. Your chest feels lighter. Do you see? Giving does not empty you. It makes more room for you. A man appears further along, shoulders tight with a weight that has nothing to do with gravity. He does not ask aloud, but life asks on his behalf. You smile and feel, not pity, but kinship. The river answers through you. A transfer is made. Perhaps a payment early, perhaps a recommendation, perhaps a gentle sentence that unknots a belief he mistook for truth. He exhales. His spine remembers its design. The boat glides forward. You have not become less. You have become more. You have become the giver, and the giver is always larger than the gift. Let your breath keep time. Inhale, draw from the infinite storehouse that is yourself. Exhale, place into the world what you cannot truly lose. With each cycle, the banks pull back another step. The river broadens. The surface becomes a mirror in which your natural face, calm, capable, kind, looks back at you with approval. The lesson writes itself upon the water. I give not to get, I give because I am. And because I am, I cannot be without. A flock of white birds rises from the reeds, beating their wings in unison, crossing the river like commas in a sentence the law is writing. They trace words upon the air that you do not need to read to understand. As within, so without. You remember the vault of paid debts. You recall the satisfaction of that red stamp, paid in full, landing like a kiss on every page that once tried to frighten you. Now as the boat carries you, notice a lovely reversal. Your generosity stamps that same phrase upon other lives. Your river flows through a tiny ledger in a household you may never enter. It stamps a yes on a scholarship application. It whispers, keep going, to a mind that almost gave up. The current never asks whether it has enough to bless. It blesses, and therefore it has enough. You come to a gentle, rapid, not rough, not dangerous, only a place where the water laughs a little louder. Beneath the surface, you sense the old reflex to close your fist, to say, let me pass this place, and then I will share. Let that reflex rise like a bubble and burst without ceremony. Smile. Rest your shoulders. This is your turning, the precise moment where you confirm your identity. You are not a dam. You are a river. You are not a reservoir guarding levels. You are the living movement of supply. Whisper it so your body hears. I circulate what I already am, and feel the boat ride the laughter, as if it had always known this was the way. On the left bank, a market appears, stalls bright with fabrics and fruit, and the simple happiness of hands exchanging what they have for what they want. You watch money change forms, from numbers to nourishment, from coins to shoes on a child, from a signature to a door opening, from an idea to a presence that cannot stop smiling. Every exchange is your river wearing a different hat. Let your heart enjoy the fashion show. You don't need to buy anything here. You already own the current from which it all is woven. On the right bank, workshops hum with quiet purpose. You see a painter washing color into the morning. You see a baker laying out bread that looks like pillows for daylight to rest on. You see a coder with music in their headphones, and a line of logic that will become a solution for someone who has been waiting. Your river slips a coin of attention to each of them, and they nod without looking up, as if an unseen wind had just passed and refreshed the room. This too is giving your gaze, your blessing, your invisible yes. The Lord delights to turn such small seeds into wide shade. The boat noses toward a stone landing, where the water circles in a silver eddy. Step out. The stones are warm, as if they have been basking in your certainty all afternoon. Before you stands a simple clay basin set upon a carved pedestal. The pedestal bears no words, but your whole being reads the inscription. What leaves you in love always returns in love, multiplied and timely. Place your hand above the basin and open it. Feel an easy outflow from your palm. A ribbon of light, a handful of coins, a soft laugh, whatever form feels like yes to your body. Watch as the basin fills, then overflows not onto the ground, but back into the river, which swells a fraction, which lifts your boat a finger's breadth, which carries you a little faster, a little farther. This is how tithes, and tips, and gifts, and anonymous kindnesses behave in the law. They do not reduce you, they reduce your resistance and raise your tide. A bell rings from somewhere you cannot see. It is a sweet sound, neither summons nor warning, but recognition. Your river has entered its own harbor now, where giving and receiving are one motion, like the figure 8 trace a child draws when they are learning how to ride a bicycle without falling. Watch the water make that shape upon itself, outward, inward, until even the idea of out and in begins to dissolve in something truer. Through everything moves through you. Nothing is taken from you, everything is given by you, everything is returned to you. Breathe and let the edges soften. You are not the cup, you are the fountain. A woman approaches across the landing, someone you love, someone you haven't met yet, someone your goodness will recognize instantly. She holds out a folded scrap of paper that feels like linen and certainty. You open it. Inside, in your own script, is written, "Thank you for allowing me to give." You laugh because you didn't know you had written it. And at the same time you realize, only you could have. She nods and walks on, lighter than when she arrived. Giving gives the giver to the giver. You are the one who receives yourself. Step back into the boat. The current takes you again, and the river narrows to a clear corridor where the water runs straight and true. On either side, markers rise like mileposts. But instead of numbers, they carry names. Ease, overflow, surplus, generosity, dividends. Each marker hums a tone you can feel in your ribs, and those tones braid themselves into a chord that sounds like your future. If the future were just the present being honest about itself. With every marker you pass, your shoulders settle, your jaw softens, your hands forget how to clutch, and remember how to bless. Now the river brings you to a village. The houses are whitewashed and smiling. Window boxes pour over with flowers that have the color of morning when it forgives itself for yesterday. People step to their doorways as you pass, not to ask, but to appreciate. You sense something delightful. You have been here before in thought, and now your thought has clothed itself. A weaver lifts a bolt of cloth, and you know without needing to be told that your generosity helped her loom remain standing when she feared it would not. A teacher sets down a stack of books on a low wall, and you know your quiet yes has become a desk for a child who needed a place to ask questions. A parish hall opens its door, and you know the envelope you sent without your name kept those lights on when winter's breath was long. There is no pride in this seeing, only participation. You did this because you are this. The river moves, the village lives. The current curves left, and the banks open into meadows, as if the land itself has widened to hear a confession. You are ready to make a confession without guilt, only admission. I withheld because I feared. And behold, the river answers, not with punishment, but with proof. See how the water deepens when it moves. See how it greens the fields. See how the reeds make homes for lives that do not worry about ledgers. This is what you are when you allow yourself to be yourself. A presence that makes other presences possible. Feel into your body now, and notice the quiet places, the spaces behind your collarbones, the palms, the belly's soft center. These are your personal harbors. The river visits each of them, and leaves a little more room than it found. Like a friend who refuses to go until your house feels like home again. With every breath, the river rinses away a layer of hurry. With every exhale, it carries a handful of old scarcity stories out of you and down the line, where time itself forgets them. You do not need to remember what you have forgiven. The law has no museum for that. Look upstream, just once, and observe how impossible it is for the river to run backward. Smile. The past cannot reclaim what you have decided now. The current cares nothing for your old identity as a collector of proof that life is hard. It only knows your new truth. Life is generous because I am. Your decision is the source, the mountain spring. The world is merely the valley that enjoys your meltwater. Somewhere in the distance, a long, low horn answers your heart's yes. The harbor of golden ships comes into view again. But you see it differently now. You do not stand upon the dock watching for arrivals. You are the river that feeds the sea that carries those ships to every shore that calls your name. Notice how natural it feels to bless a vessel named ease and watch it glide out over water you provide. Notice how sweet it is to catch sight of a ship named surplus coming home heavy with what you sent out, multiplied beyond counting by the mathematics of gratitude. You wave, and the sails answer like flags at a reunion. The boat carries you into a quiet inlet where the surface turns to gold leaf. Here the current slows until movement and rest find they are the same word said with different lips. This is the chamber the law reserves for those who have learned its language, the place where intention becomes instruction and instruction becomes event. Lay your hand upon the water. Speak not with mouth but with feeling, and let the river write it beneath your palm. I am safe. I am provided for. I am ready to receive. I am ready to release. I give with joy, and I live in joy. What passes through me expands me. Money is my servant, and service is my pleasure. I bless the channels and honor the source. I am the source wearing the grace of a channel. As I give, I discover I have more to give. As I receive, I discover I have more to receive. Circulation is my natural state. Feel those sentences seed themselves as sensation. Warmth behind the sternum, ease in the throat, space in the lower back, a golden coolness running down the forearms to the fingertips, as if your hands themselves have become fountains. You do not repeat to convince. You speak to confirm what your bones already know. A procession approaches along the far shore, not somber but reverent. Men and women carry baskets. They are your days to come, each day bearing its own harvest. One lifts a basket of dollars that came from a direction you did not anticipate, and you grin at the delightful costume your good chose today. Another lifts a basket of hours, free, unclaimed hours that you spend exactly as you please. Another raises a basket of ideas that arrive like solved riddles and become channels without demanding your sweat. Another offers a basket of faces, each face a person your overflow will lighten without any ledger needing to track the transaction. You bow to each day as it passes. They bow back, not because they worship you, but because they recognize you. When you live as circulation, time itself treats you as a favored guest. The sun lowers to the angle that turns everything it touches to story. In this light, you notice something beautiful about the river's edge. Every time you gave tonight, coin or blessing, word or silence, presence or payment, a small wildflower sprang up. Even if you were not looking, the bank is now quilted with color. This is the embroidery of your life, when you live in flow, beauty in places you do not stand, softness under the feet of those you will never meet. Give yourself the pleasure of this sight. It is not vanity, it is gratitude in bloom. The boat turns by itself and begins, without hurry, the homeward glide. You are no poorer for the distance you have traveled. You are richer for the range your giving has claimed as yours. Upstream and downstream have lost their meaning. Through is all that remains. You do not hold the river holds you. You do not force the law fulfills you. Keep breathing in, out, receive, give, over and over. Like waves that cannot forget the moon. As the landing where you first stepped in appears, your body answers with a small joyous ache, the kind you feel after dancing long enough to forget the steps. Stand. The stone meets your feet like a friend who knows just how to listen. The basin on the pedestal glows a shade brighter than before. You look inside and laugh softly. The ribbon of light you place there has become a round, gentle current of its own, spinning like a galaxy in miniature. Its center, a stillness that is not empty, but complete. Nothing you gave left you. Everything you released, learned your name, and found its way back wearing increase. Carry this knowledge with the kindness you reserve for the things that keep you, the bed, the breath, the sun through a window you did not install. As you return to rest, as the pillow receives the weight of a head that has decided to trust, keep one truth near enough to hear it when the world grows quiet. Wealth is water, and you are a river. To keep yourself, you must keep moving. To keep moving, you must keep loving. To keep loving, you must keep being who you are. And who you are is the giver and the gift, the source and the channel. The I am imagining itself into form, and then letting that form bless the earth. If a last whisper rises before sleep claims you, let it be soft as the river's edge and sure as its course. I circulate because I am infinite. I give because nothing can run out in me. I receive because I am brave enough to let life be generous. I am safe. I am provided for. I am ready. Ready to receive and ready to release. In my world, money, inspiration, and love flow like water. Always arriving, always moving on, always returning in wider rivers of the same light. Rest now in the sound of your own abundance. It is the sound of water remembering where to go. It is the sound of you remembering who you are. Let your breath lengthen, beloved, slow and even, the way the tide returns to kiss the shore and then slips away again. With every exhale, your body grows heavier, calmer, wonderfully still. With every inhale, your mind becomes clear, open, quietly luminous. There is nothing to do and nowhere to go. You are here, you are safe, and the holy theater of imagination is opening for you. Sense the room softening around you, the hush, the gentle temperature of the air, the faintest perfume of cedar and paper, as if a hidden door has swung inward. You don't force it. You let it arrive, the way dawn arrives without pushing. Something within you knows the way. You simply agree. A corridor appears, not in front of you, but in you, lined with light that behaves like silk. Your bare feet make no sound on the floor that feels warmer than wood, softer than stone. On either side, lanterns flicker with a golden flame that doesn't burn, it blesses. Your heartbeat slows to match their silent rhythm. At the end of the corridor, a great arch of carved brass holds an inscription that glows as you draw near. You read it without effort, as if you have always known it. Here dwell the ideas already complete. Enter and remember. You do not knock. You are expected. As you pass beneath the arch, the space opens like a sunrise, vast, serene, impossibly high. Shelves upon shelves ascend into a sky of soft gold, and each shelf holds books that are very much alive. Some hum gently, some pulse with light, some wait in perfect stillness, the way a held breath waits for the next sentence. Every volume is a finished world, and every world is an answer to a desire your heart has whispered. This, beloved, is the library of divine ideas, your own infinite mind revealed in a shape your senses can adore. Listen, there is no crowd here, no rush. The only sound is the tender rustle of pages turning themselves somewhere far above, and the occasional chime of a thought finding its form. The air smells of new beginnings, cedar shavings, clean linen, warm ink. You feel the old habit of urgency loosen like a knot untied. In this place there is no need to make, to strive, to chase. In this place you discover you do not invent reality, you accept it. You assume the completed work as yours, and by law it becomes your experience. A presence approaches without footsteps. You do not see a face, you feel a welcome, vast, intimate, unmistakably yours. It is the librarian of this sanctuary, but not another person, your deeper self greeting you the way the ocean greets the river. You have come home. Let us open what you are ready to remember. Your hand is guided to a lower shelf where the spines are embossed in leaf gold letters that rearrange themselves as your eyes sweep across them. Titles form in real time, like breath on glass. The effortless partnership, the elegant solution, the offering that multiplies itself, the door no one saw until now, the art that pays for its own birth. One spine brightens as if recognizing you. You do not choose it, beloved. It chooses you. You draw it out. It is warm, with a soft weight that feels exactly right, like a fruit at the moment of perfect ripeness. The cover bears your name, not your legal name, not your nickname, but the name that rises in you when you say, I am, and leave it unqualified. The name that needs nothing to be true. Your heart answers before your tongue can form a sound. You open the book. The pages do not lie flat. They stand up and breathe. The words move like birds and then become images, and the images bloom into scenes that are as real as any memory you have ever held. You are not watching a picture. You are stepping into a finished room. You stand in a studio filled with morning light. On the desk is a single sheet, your handwriting clean and sure. A proposal simple as a bell. A message pings. Your chest warms before you look because you already know acceptance swifter than expectation. There is no begging in this scene, no proving, no bargaining with outer facts. Only the soft feeling of conscience. You feel it in your stomach, your throat, the bridge of your nose. Not excitement that spikes and vanishes, but rightness like a note that finally finds its chord. Stay. Do not rush. Let the body memorize this frequency. The law answers your feeling, not your effort. The invisible world bends to your inner conviction, the way a field leans toward the sun. The scene dissolves like mist, not because it is gone, but because it has been accepted. The page turns on its own. Another room, an afternoon cafe, the music, a gentle heartbeat in the background. You're laughing with someone whose presence feels like clear water, easy, intelligent, kind. The conversation loops through inspiration and lands on a phrase that tugs the air. That's it. You both know. The simplest version is the richest. The idea requires no chase. It requires a yes. You nod. And the page records your nod as a signature across a future already woven. Feel the relief. This is the library's first gift. The discovery that relief can precede evidence. Gratitude before outcome is the surest proof of ownership in imagination. Gratitude that rises naturally is the signature the subconscious recognizes. It is mine, you say, not to convince, but to acknowledge. And the scene bows in agreement. Turn the page with your breath. Evening light. Now a living room that belongs to you, because it has your peace in it. A small bell on your phone. Another, payments received, license renewed, a subscription continued, a dividend posted. You do not count. Counting would shrink the feeling to arithmetic. You receive the sensation of constancy. Instead, steady as the ocean, gentle as sleeping rain. Income like breath, in and out and in again, without drama, without strain. You feel a smile. You aren't making. It is making you. Let the smile anchor in your chest. Let the muscles of your jaw loosen as if chewing on worry has suddenly become unnecessary, even impossible. This is how the subconscious learns, through the ease of your body. The state becomes natural. What is natural must be reproduced. The book shines a fraction brighter, and then rests. Another, the presence asks, not in words, but in the way a door opens when you arrive. You walk the aisle without moving your feet, and a higher shelf comes down to meet your hand. You lift another volume. This one hums before you touch it. The edges glow like horizon. Open it, an auditorium. Not vast, exact. The soft murmur of 100 people who came because your idea solved a worry they couldn't name. You are not performing. You are sharing. They are not spectators. They are participants whose lives change because you dared to accept the finished scene as real, while others waited for permission. You speak one simple sentence and watch faces relax, not with entertainment, but with recognition. Of course they breathe as one. Your idea is a key. Their relief is the door unlocking. You feel the commerce of love, value meeting need, need crowning value, and in that exchange, money is the shadow of understanding. It follows without being summoned. Listen to the texture of that sound. The exhale rippling through the room. Let it move through your ribcage now. This is wealth as belonging, wealth as fit. It is softer than you thought, and far more certain. Turn the page. A quiet workshop. The smell of citrus and clean wood. A whiteboard with fewer words than you expected. A product that explains itself while you sleep. You touch it and it arranges its own distribution, like a seed carrying the pattern of the forest already inside. The more it is used, the more it returns. Not only money, but time, clarity, reputation gently earned. You understand without thinking. The idea was already complete. You did not force it. You recognized it. The bridge of incidents that leads to its appearance is under construction as you feel this now. You do not need to inspect the bridge. You only need to walk as one who knows it exists. Close the book gently. Not to end the scene, but to release it into the womb of the night. Books in this library are not plans. They are declarations. To open one with feeling is to issue a decree to the creative power within. This is who I am. And the power answers, as it must, so be it. The librarian presence breathes through you like wind through silk. Take 3, it suggests. 1 for now, 1 for soon, 1 you did not think to ask. You reach, and 3 slim volumes rest in your hands as naturally as your own fingers. The first is small and bright, like a letter. When you open it, you see a short scene as intimate as a whisper. Your name on a message that begins with the word yes. There is a number below it. Exactly right. Not impressive for applause, but perfect for peace. The sensation in your belly is not fireworks. It is ground. You stand taller because you feel supported from within, and because you are, the outer world agrees to support you without argument. Close it. Smile without effort. The second is heavier, bound in a fabric that feels like river stone when water polishes it smooth. Its pages smell of rosemary and printing ink. A calendar appears, weeks turning into months, calm and full. The same numbers arrive like tide, recurring, friendly, never late. Somewhere in the scene, a door that used to creak swings silently because it has been tended to. This is the idea that takes care of you by design, not by demand. It grows by understanding, not by hustle. Feel the rhythm. Absorb it. This is income as heartbeat, regular, faithful, invisible. Unless you listen for it, and then it's all you can hear. The third book is almost weightless, as if made of breath. You wonder if you can hold it. You already are. When it opens, there is no place, no time. Only a knowing that tastes like light on the tongue. Words form and dissolve. You are the idea from which ideas come. You do not search, you shine. What belongs to you recognizes you by your light. You do nothing. You allow. A stream of small, perfect opportunities begins to trace itself through your days. Conversations that land with a click. Invitations you would have overlooked if you were busy proving worth. Sudden clarity that simplifies what used to be complicated. The book closes itself, but the knowing remains, like a fragrance in the room after someone you love has left and is somehow still here. You exhale, and the exhale is a promise kept. Walk with me deeper into the stacks. Notice how the aisles reconfigure themselves to match your readiness. When you believe you must climb, the shelves grow ladders. When you accept that nothing is missing, the shelves roll to meet you as if on quiet wheels. This is the tenderness of the law. It responds to the attitude you carry. If you insist on distance, distance appears. If you permit nearness, everything arrives at hand. A long table waits in a pool of golden light. On it, empty cards and a fountain pen that never runs dry. Write what you are willing to feel. The presence urges, not what you want to want, what you are willing to feel as already true. Your hand moves before you think. On the first card, I am the place where profitable ideas feel safe to land. On the second, I am paid for my clarity, my calm, and my unique simplicity. On the third, my creations serve so cleanly that they sell themselves while I sleep. You do not repeat these to convince the sky. You write them to show your deeper self the shape you agree to wear. As ink dries, each card lifts itself and glides into a book already waiting on a nearby shelf, the exact book that will act out that sentence as your tomorrow. You do not chase it. You nod and let it go the way a parent lets a capable child walk to the corner store alone. Breathe. A slight breeze moves through the library, and you recognize it, your own breath returning with a message. Done. Let us walk into an alcove where the oldest books live. Their covers are worn with love, the title simple as prayer. Give, rest, trust, return. You place your palm on give, and it opens to a page made of glass. In its surface you see yourself passing value onward, teaching one clear thing that saved you years, tipping because it delights you, funding what makes the world more like this library. Quiet, generous, sane. As you give, the page starts pouring from the bottom up, filling itself with new ink, new scenes, new supply. You remember the river. Circulation is proof of life. Stagnation is proof of fear. You are not a dam. You are a channel. You place your palm on rest, and the page becomes a bed of light. It looks like doing nothing. It is not nothing. It is the substance from which doing is selected. Rest is the workshop, where the bridge of incidence is engineered. Your only labor here is loyalty to the end. On trust, the letters lift like birds and arrange themselves around your head. They crown you with a sentence as old as breath and as current as right now. Assumption, though false when first made, if persisted in, will harden into fact. You smile. Not because you're trying to believe it, but because you've seen it work. The crown becomes weightless. You forget it's there. That is how you know it has become yours. On return, the page shows your face turning toward the inner room. Each evening, no matter how the day shouted, you return to the end. You return to the library. You return to the simple scene that implies fulfillment, and you dwell there as naturally as you dwell in your favorite chair. This, beloved, is mastery. Not controlling the outer, but returning inward with such tenderness and regularity that the outer cannot help but conform. Come now to the balcony. From here you can see the entire expanse. Miles of shelves, rivers of light, little elevators carrying books toward readers you cannot see, because they are you at different distances. Below, a circular desk where requests are answered by silence turning into form. Above, an oculus where daylight and starlight share the same language. Stand at the rail. Place your hands on the warm brass. Let your shoulders fall. Feel the breeze of certainty. You are not borrowing from the future. You are not asking permission from the past. You are choosing from the completed. You are saying that with your feeling. And the world, faithful servant that it is, replies, as you wish. Let's practice one simple ceremonial act that seals your visit. Close your eyes, but keep the library vivid. In your left hand, place a book that represents your next graceful income stream, one that requires less effort than anything you've done before and returns more peace. Feel its weight. In your right hand, place a book that represents a contribution that astonishes you with how naturally it multiplies good in other lives. Feel its warmth. Bring your hands slowly toward your heart until the two books touch and dissolve into light that enters your chest as a steady flame, not a blaze that devours, an ember that will not go out. Whisper without strain, as if you were continuing a conversation mid-sentence. It is done. Then add the gentlest smile, the kind only you can feel. That smile is the signature. That smile is the stamp paid in full across every doubt that used to ask how. Before we leave, a final shelf draws your attention. These books are slender, almost translucent. Their titles are single words: elegance, surplus, grace, ease. Open ease. A one-page scene. You waking, stretching, checking your messages, not to hunt but to witness. There they are, the confirmations, the welcomes, the doors swung open while you slept. Your body reads the scene and releases a breath you didn't know you were holding. That breath is a deposit. Slip, the universe has been waiting to stamp. Open grace. A conversation you might have dreaded now arrives as a bouquet. Something that used to snag now slides. Someone who used to hesitate now nods. You do not puff with pride. You bow with gratitude, because you recognize the hand that arranged it, your own imagination, loyal and infinite, wearing the name I am. Open surplus. A table with more chairs than you counted. Bowls that refill without hands. A calendar with spaces reserved for delight. A bank balance that looks like a lake, shimmering, self-renewing, deep. Not a peak to be defended, a body of water that answers drought by expanding underground. Open elegance. A design that removes 3 steps no one needed. A phrase that turns a locked thought into a wide-open meadow. A habit of leaving rooms better than you found them, which draws invitations you did not solicit. Elegance is wealth's favorite messenger. You feel it settle on your shoulders, like a shawl that is always the right temperature. Close the slender volumes and place them back, not because you're finished, but because you are satisfied. Satisfaction is not the end of desire. It is the soil that grows the next garden without strain. Now we descend, the way a feather descends, unhurried, guided by currents too subtle to name. At the entrance arch you turn, not to say goodbye, but to say thank you. The letters above you flare once and soften. Here dwell the ideas already complete. Enter and remember. You realize the sign has changed by a single word. It now reads, remember, and everywhere you enter becomes here. Step back into the corridor. The lanterns brighten as you pass, as if bowing. The scent of cedar follows you like a friend to the threshold of your breathing room. Your body is still where you left it, but it is not the same body. The jaw is softer. The chest is wider. The belly is quiet. Your hands feel subtly warm, like you've been holding sunlight. Lie back inside yourself. Let the mattress receive you as though it has been practicing for this moment. Listen to the room, the distant hush that carries no demand. You are not losing the library, you have placed it where it cannot be misplaced. Touch the center of your chest with 2 fingers, lightly. That's your key. Anytime you press there with the memory of this warmth, a volume will find you. You won't need a door, a corridor, or a lantern. You will need your breath and the sentence that never fails. I am ready to receive what is already mine. Let's close with a final, imaginal act. Short, precise, inevitable. See your name in a simple email. The subject line reads, approved. Feel the small wave of relief. There it is, followed by the larger wave of thank you that does not grab. It opens. Here a message notification, funds received, not future tense. received. Not future tense, received. Another, can we schedule? Another, this is exactly what we needed. Do not chase them with your mind. Let them arrive and sit like guests who know your house and feel comfortable there. Breathe in the ease of ownership without proving. Breathe out the habit of asking the mirror to smile first. Smile now. The mirror will follow. You are the library, beloved. You are the living catalogue of completed riches. You are the consciousness in which books write themselves and then walk into flesh as circumstances, deposits, collaborations, checks, quiet miracles that are only miracles to those who forgot the law. You have remembered. You are remembering still. As your eyes grow heavier, let the librarians of your deeper mind file the cards you signed tonight. Let them sort shelves, tag spines, and roll ladders where they are needed. Your work is done for now. Your loyalty is enough. Drift towards sleep as one who has planted in perfect soil. You do not dig tomorrow. You notice sprouts. You bless them. You keep walking. Say with me, as the border of waking thins, I am the place where divine ideas land and multiply. I am the calm that money understands. I am guided, provided for, and ready to receive. It is done. Rest, and let what is true of you take form all around you. Breathe, beloved, slow and easy. Let the exhale arrive a little longer than the inhale, the way a wave lingers on the shore before it returns. With every breath your body grows quieter, your mind gentler, and the space around you grows kind, like a room that knows your name. You are safe. You are provided for. You are ready to receive. Allow your eyes, open or closed, to grow heavy. Let the muscles along your brow soften, the tongue rest wide in the mouth, the shoulders fall as if the very air were a warm hand supporting you. Notice the subtle hum beneath all sounds, a velvet hush that holds everything. That hush is your own depth, the still center where imagination does its holy work. From that center, a doorway appears, not ahead of you, but in you. Walk through without moving a muscle. The ground is quiet satin, the air faintly cool, like silver at dusk. Before you, a chamber blooms into being, round and vast, rimmed by mirrors that stretch away into what looks like forever. Each mirror stands like a tall, patient being, and yet each is only what a mirror has always been, a perfectly faithful witness. The light in this chamber is soft gold. It touches your skin as if it recognizes you. You stand in the middle and breathe. Slowly, the mirrors begin to awaken. At first you see your familiar form, your face as you know it, your shoulders, your posture, but then, like dawn revealing the colors it kept tucked in the dark, each reflection brightens into a version of you living in fullness. In one mirror, you see yourself laughing with the ease of someone who has nothing to prove and nothing to fear. In another, you stand outside your home, your true home, turning a key with quiet satisfaction. In another, you are at a desk where ideas arrive like birds, and each bird carries a ribbon of income tied to its foot. In another, you are giving a check, a chance, a yes, and the act multiplies itself in the world like ripples that never find a shore. Walk slowly. You are not choosing between fantasies. You are recognizing completed realities already alive in consciousness. The world is yourself pushed out. These mirrors show the self you have dared, at times, to assume. Listen to the room. There is no judgment here, no debt to pay, no door to earn. There is only awareness, reflecting back to you the states you have flirted with, and the ones you are now willing to wear. Feel how the air changes slightly before each mirror, as if every state has its own climate, its own temperature, its own gravity, its own fragrance. One feels like a warm afternoon in a city you love. Another feels like ocean air at sunrise. Another like the clean scent of paper and ink in a room where good news is signed and delivered. Pause. Let your breath match the rhythm of the chamber, unhurried, inevitable. I tell you, as I have always told those who listen, assumption, though false when first made, if persisted in, will harden into fact. Tonight you are not trying to wrench the outer world into obedience. You are becoming faithful to a state until it feels so natural you forget you ever lived otherwise. That forgetting is the miracle. That forgetting is the proof. Turn to a mirror, where the version of you is not simply smiling. It is shining. The face you see there carries no strain. The eyes are clear. The jaw is soft. The chest is open. And there is a quiet authority in the way the shoulders rest. This one has accepted being provided for as a law, not a gamble. This one does not chase money. Money follows this one because wealth recognizes itself. Do you see the posture? Do you feel the warmth that rises in the throat and spreads down into the belly? Step closer. You will not break the glass. The glass was made for this meeting. Study the details. The clothing is not loud. It is apartment. The hands look well used, but unburdened. In the pocket is a phone with messages that read approved, cleared, received, yes. In the calendar are white spaces, room to breathe, because freedom is the true dividend of abundance. The reflection raises a hand. It is your hand. It is also the hand of the you who has already arrived wherever you long to go. Stand so close that your breath paints a little fog on the surface. Notice how your body wants to imitate what it sees. Let your shoulders settle into the same slope. Let your chest expand to the same quiet size. Let your face find the same easy geometry. The subconscious accepts what is felt as natural. We are teaching it with posture, with breath, with the humble honesty of muscle and bone. Now extend your right hand palm open to touch the mirror. As your skin meets the cool surface, the glass gives a little like water accepting a fingertip. A shimmer runs from your hand through your arm, into your chest, and in the mirror the luminous version of you does the same. Two palms align. There is a soft sound, not in the air but in the heart, a note of recognition, like the click when a key finds its lock. The reflection steps forward. You do not step back. You have nothing to defend. You are here to merge. Feel it. The hand you raised is both yours and not yours. The boundary becomes a veil. The veil becomes mist. The mist becomes light. And then there is no mirror and no gap. Only a gentle blending, like warm water pouring into warm water. The version of you with the calm eyes and the unforced smile moves through the glass and into you, not as a guest, but as the host reclaiming its home. Heat blooms beneath the sternum. The breath deepens automatically, and the exhale feels like consent. Let the head bow, just a fraction. The way a tree bows when the wind proves it's real. This is the fusion of desire and being, the end of trying to get, and the beginning of remembering I am. You are not reaching out to claim wealth. You are letting wealth claim you, because you have accepted the state where wealth belongs. In this union there is no effort, only recognition. Say nothing if words feel like work. If words come, let them be as simple as the first name of God, I am. Leave it unqualified for a heartbeat. Then let a single quality rise to meet it. Not from the surface mind, but from the deeper fact, I am provided for. I am the one who receives without struggle. I am the one whose calm is magnetic. I am the place where divine ideas land and multiply. Stay with the physicality of it. The merged you stands differently inside your body. Feel the weight of the feet on the floor, steady, pleasant. Feel the back of the heart warm and wide. Feel the neck lengthen as if a soft thread were lifting the crown slightly. Notice how the stomach lets go, as if it heard good news. All of this is instruction to the subconscious. It loves instruction that arrives as comfort. Now let the chamber present you with small tests that are not tests at all, only scenes already complete seeking a bearer. In the first, you look down to find a bill that once carried the taste of metal on your tongue. In this state, it is a sheet of paper and a simple request. There is no spike in the pulse, no collapse behind the eyes. You see, you nod, you attend. The action you take may be to pay it now, or to make a single loving call, or to place it in a tray marked handled on Thursday. But the feeling is the same, handled. Let that word echo in the body, handled. The scene dissolves like sugar in tea. Next, the phone lights. A message from someone who once frightened you because their approval felt like oxygen. Read it now with the eyes of the self you have accepted. Approval is sweet but not necessary. You approve of yourself at the level where life is made. And because approval flows in you as a condition of being, it arrives from without, often easily, like compliments you use to deflect. Smile and let the words land. They are a reflection, not a verdict. Another mirror swings into place and becomes a window. And in it you see a moment 3 days from now, where an opportunity appears dressed in ordinary clothes. Watch your merged self, recognize it without fanfare. It's a message that begins, would you be open to? And ends in an agreement that pays you in money and in peace. Feel the shoulders soften another degree. Peace is wealth's favorite currency. Let the chamber widen. All along the circular wall, the other mirrors glow too, not to entice you into scattering yourself, but to show you that when you fuse with one state, allied states align. The self who is financially at ease is also relationally generous, mentally quiet, physically unafraid. These are not separate selves. They are facets of the one diamond turning in the light. Walk without moving. Past reflections in which you once rehearsed lack. See them now the way you'd see a child's costume hanging on a hook after the play has ended. There is no shame here. The costume did its job. It taught contrast. Bow to it the way a wise actor bows to a role that taught them range. Then keep walking as the diamond turns. A mirror brightens with the scene of you receiving. Notice how receiving happens in the body. The inhale arrives, the chest opens, the hands unclench, the jaw releases, the eyes soften. Practice this now. Inhale as if the air were a gift already addressed to you. Exhale as if gratitude were breathing you. The room adjusts its light. The mirrors approve by reflecting more of the same. Another mirror shows you giving, and see how giving feels when it is not a performance or a bribe to fate, but the natural overflow of one who knows their supply. You hand something to someone, a sum, a sentence, a chance, and the moment hums with that quiet note you heard when your palm met the glass. Click. Fit. Rightness. The gift does not diminish you. It multiplies you. The mirror writes across itself in gold script. You cannot read with eyes, but understand perfectly. Circulation is celebration. Now come back to the place where the luminous mirror once stood. In its place there is no glass at all, only open air, the open field of your assumed identity. The chamber of mirrors has fulfilled its purpose. It has brought you to the only mirror that matters, the self you now feel as most natural. The world outside will arrange itself to reflect this without your constant supervision. This is not hope. It is law. The world is yourself pushed out. You have chosen the self. The push is already in motion. Seal it gently with a small physical anchor, something your body can do later to summon the state in a breath. Perhaps press the thumb and forefinger together and let them rest at the heart, or let the tongue touch the roof of the mouth and soften, or place one hand upon the belly and feel it rise. Choose one now. As you do it, whisper, barely, this is me. Not this will be. Not let it be. This is me. Good. Now let's take your merged self for a quiet walk through tomorrow, as if you were watching a river you will soon step into. See the morning. You wake in a room that treats you kindly. Even if it is the same four walls, they look different, because you have changed. The light through the curtain has the color of permission. The bed feels like agreement. You check your messages, and the ones that matter stand out, like lanterns. Some say confirmed. Some say ready when you are. Some say thank you. The ones that do not matter wash past the eye like leaves, sliding down a window in rain. You attend to what is yours to attend. You leave what is not. This is wealth, the ability to select your attention. See the midday. A conversation that used to tilt you now feels level. Your voice has slowed by half a beat, which makes your words sound expensive, because they are paid for by the stillness that produced them. You ask for what honors you, and the room rearranges itself to comply. Or it does not. Either way, your state remains unruffled. And because you remain, the world tends to follow. When it does not, you bless it and turn. Easier things are already on their way. See, the evening, a little ritual, simple, sincere, returns you to the chamber without leaving your chair. Maybe you light a candle and watch its flame mirror the quiet flame in your chest. Maybe you write a single line that begins with I am and ends with a quality you wore easily that day. Maybe you close your eyes and touch your anchor and feel the glass give beneath your palm again. You do not evaluate, you return. Returning is the whole art. Now let the chamber offer you a teaching in the form of a memory. It shows you an old scene where you panicked or shrank or scrambled to fix. Watch it once as if it were projected on the far wall. Then watch it again with your merged self standing where you used to stand. Look at the difference. Your breath, your eyes, your spine, your timing. Feel how the scene itself must alter to meet the new cause. This is not wishful thinking. This is the mathematics of consciousness. New premise, new proof. A hush deeper than all hushes moves through the room. It is the sound of a decision being made at the only place decisions matter, the root. You do not even need to name the decision, the body knows. The decision is to remain loyal to the end, to feel the truth more often than you rehearse the old story, to return when you forget, to forgive yourself for forgetting, and in that forgiveness to remember faster and faster, until remembering is simply the air you live in. If you like, you can invite one of the other bright reflections to step forward, not to overwhelm you with 10 identities at once, but to adorn this one with a companion quality. Perhaps the version of you who speaks with a voice that calms rooms, or the one whose laughter oils the hinges of opportunity, or the one whose boundaries are so kind they are never questioned. Let that second self step through too, light merging with light, and feel how the tone of your wealth deepens, not like a heavier burden, but like a richer chord. Walk the circle slowly one more time. See the mirrors now, not as separate selves you must manage, but as reminders, like friendly road signs you pass on a familiar path. They are there to help you, should you choose to glance up, but you have learned the way. You carry the map in your breath. When you are ready, and you are. Let the chamber dim the way a theater dims, before a symphony begins. You are not leaving abundance behind. You have placed it within, where it belongs. The outer mirrors will do what mirrors do. They will reflect, but the reflection follows the feeler. And you are the feeler. Let your awareness settle back into the sweet heaviness of your body now. Notice how easy it is to rest when the inner has been set right. Your bed is a small boat, and the waters beneath it are steady. The tide carries you towards sleep, and sleep carries your assumption deeper than thought can travel. This is the sacred border where the seed is pressed into living soil. Plant it one more time with the simplest touch, your anchor gesture, your soft breath, your quiet sentence. I am the one I saw. I am the one who already has. I am the mirror and the light it reflects. It is done. Feel the air answer. It always does. There is nothing to prove. There is only this warm certainty settling into your bones as the last sounds of the day drift away. If a thought arises, let it pass like a bird crossing a wide, golden sky. If a memory taps, nod to it, and let it walk its own path home. You have chosen your state. The law will keep your appointment. As you drift, let one more sweetness arrive, the sense that all the reflections in all the mirrors are smiling with the same peace, because they are not other than you. They are the multiplied self. One I am wearing 1,000 fulfilled faces. You touched the brightest. It stepped forward, and you became it. This is the secret you will carry into morning without effort. The world cannot help but meet the one you are willing to be. Rest now, breathe in the soft gold. Breathe out the last ashes of strain. And let the night do what it loves. Take your feeling and weave a bridge so natural that when you cross it tomorrow, you will call it life. Breathe deeply now. Let your chest rise like a tide and fall again into stillness. The world around you is dimming, softening, growing kind. And in this quiet, you begin to feel movement, not fast, not chaotic, a slow, radiant pulse, as though something magnificent were beginning to awaken behind your ribs. You are being guided again, beloved, through the corridors of imagination. The journey does not take you forward or backward in time. It takes you deeper, deeper into the truth that what you give, you keep. What you bless, blesses you. What you share in love becomes wealth that knows your name. The light ahead is brighter this time. Alive with color, motion, laughter. You step through a golden archway and find yourself standing at the edge of a vast open square beneath the sky. The color of liquid sunrise before you stretches, the marketplace of miracles. The air hums. There are no stalls of wood or cloth, no currency clinking, no merchants shouting. Here, every soul is a stall, every smile a transaction, every act of kindness an exchange of gold. The marketplace breathes. It is not built of stone. It is built of energy, of gratitude, of that invisible current that moves through all who give and all who receive. Take your first step onto the glowing floor. It feels like polished glass under your feet, warm to the touch. With every movement, ripples of light spread outward, as if the ground itself were alive. All around you, figures move slowly, luminous beings of every age, every shape, each carrying a gentle radiance around them. They are giving, sharing, teaching, laughing. You walk among them. To your left, an old woman sits on a cushion, holding the hand of a young man. She says nothing, only listens. From her palm to his, a thread of golden light flows, a transfer of understanding that words could not have carried. The man's eyes fill with tears, not of sadness, but of sudden recognition. When he exhales, the same light that entered him bursts outward and spirals gently into the air, splitting into hundreds of smaller sparks that drift toward others. This is how wealth moves here, not in circles of numbers, but in spirals of generosity. To your right, two figures exchange gifts you cannot quite see, shapes made of thought, shimmering ideas. One gives a fragment of melody, the other a vision of how to share it. They laugh together as the light between them grows too bright to look at, then floats upward and joins the glowing canopy that stretches across the square. The air itself is alive with blessing, a constant rainfall of gold dust that touches your skin, warm, electric, kind. Walk further. Everywhere you look, you witness exchange, someone handing a word of encouragement, another returning it as courage, a teacher giving insight, a listener offering gratitude, a stranger giving silence, and another filling that silence with laughter. Each act emits light, and the lights never clash. They mingle. They form rivers in the air, streams that weave together above you, until they become a sea of living energy, the true economy of creation. You pause in awe, realizing there is no poverty here, because there is no withholding. No one is guarding, hoarding, or fearing loss. The entire marketplace is a single body, breathing in, giving, and exhaling, receiving. As you breathe in, you feel yourself part of it. Your own chest glows faintly at first, then brighter with every inhalation. Your heart hums in rhythm with the hundreds of others. A truth rises from within you. Ancient, simple, undeniable. I can never be depleted by giving. For what I give, I amplify within myself. You smile, and immediately, your smile becomes a ray of light that travels outward, touching 3 people nearby. Each of them turns, surprised but delighted, and their hearts respond with beams of their own. Those beams merge and return to you, now brighter, now multiplied. This is how it works here. Every act is mirrored, magnified, multiplied, then returned with grace. Walk deeper into the market. You pass under archways, carved of pure light. You hear laughter that sounds like chimes, soft music that seems to come from the ground itself. Smells drift through the air, not of food or spice, but of memory. Sunlight on skin, new pages of a book, the ocean at dawn. You realize you are not imagining these. They are the essence of what has been given and received here. Every kindness leaves a fragrance that never fades. Ahead in the very center rises a fountain, not of water, but of gold light. Its base is inscribed with words you somehow understand without reading. All that is given in love returns 1,000-fold. You approach. At the edge of the fountain stands a being radiant as the morning star, holding a simple bowl of translucent crystal. Without speaking, the being offers it to you. You look inside and see it is empty, yet it glows from within, as if it already remembers being full. The being smiles and gestures toward the fountain. You understand. You are to give something. Not money, not things, something that carries your essence. What will it be? A smile? A word? A memory of compassion? Let it arise naturally. It might be small. A wish that someone finds peace. A moment of forgiveness, a silent blessing. Hold it in your palms now. See it as light, soft and round, warm like the first morning sun. Lift it gently and let it fall into the fountain. As soon as it touches the light, a wave of warmth flows back through the ground, through your feet, up your legs, through your heart, not outward, but inward. The bowl in your hands fills instantly, overflowing with golden radiance. It spills over your wrists, down your arms, into your chest. You close your eyes, overwhelmed not by emotion, but by peace. The giving and the receiving are the same moment. There is no gap. You open your eyes again. The being nods in approval and whispers in a voice that sounds like music. You have remembered the oldest law. To give is to know you already have. The marketplace brightens even more, if such a thing is possible. Now you see that each act of giving creates a ripple that travels farther than you can follow. A smile offered here lights a lantern miles away. A gift of comfort here feeds a soul in another world. Everything is connected through feeling. Everything you give is felt everywhere. You begin to walk again. And now others turn toward you. They see your glow. A child runs up to you and places a small feather in your hand. White, delicate, weightless. You hold it, and it turns to gold light that sinks into your palm. Immediately, you feel lighter, as if the child returned to you a piece of your own innocence. You bow in gratitude. Another being steps forward, holding a scroll. On it are words written in shimmering letters. What you admire in others, you are remembering in yourself. The being presses the scroll to your heart, and it vanishes, leaving behind a gentle pulse of recognition. You look around and realize that the marketplace is infinite, a horizonless expanse, where giving never ends. It doesn't tire, it renews. Every few steps, you pass a new exchange. Two souls hugging, a group of artists creating music out of light, a mother blessing a stranger, a student teaching the teacher. You whisper softly to yourself, "This is the economy of heaven. The only currency is love." And the entire marketplace seems to respond. The lights shimmer, the air vibrates, the fountain surges higher, scattering droplets of gold like tiny suns. Then the being with the crystal bowl reappears before you. Their eyes shine like molten amber. They speak again. "Would you like to give more?" You nod without hesitation. The being gestures toward the crowd. Every figure you have seen, the woman, the man, the child, the artists, the teachers, now turns toward you. One by one, they raise their hands, and from their palms flow streams of light, converging toward you. It does not overwhelm you, it expands you. Each beam carries a quality: peace, clarity, abundance, opportunity, inspiration, health, love, and each enters you easily, as though your heart were made to receive them all. And then something miraculous happens. As quickly as they pour in, the same light begins to pour out from you. Back to them, stronger, wider, richer. The exchange becomes a rhythm, a pulse that fills the entire space. Inhale, exhale, give, receive, give again. You realize there is no distinction anymore. The boundaries between you and them have dissolved. You are the marketplace itself. You are the fountain, the giver, the receiver, the gold, the breath, the laughter. You are the circulation of wealth made visible. You are abundance in motion. Stand in the middle of that realization now. Breathe deeply, and let the sensation anchor itself in your physical body. Your chest glows brighter than ever. You can feel the pulse of life moving through you, through everyone, through everything. You whisper to yourself, money is love slowed down. Wealth is love in form. I am that love, forever circulating. The being smiles, bowing their heads slightly. They speak again, you will forget this when you wake, as one forgets a dream. But your heart will remember. It will move differently in the world. It will give without fear and receive without guilt. And in that movement, miracles will find you, for you are their source. The fountain erupts into one last great surge of light, and in that brightness, you see a reflection of yourself, calm, open, radiant. You are holding nothing, yet your hands overflow. You are surrounded by strangers, yet you feel only kinship. You are standing still, yet the whole world moves through you like a song. The light begins to soften now, dimming gently into dusk. The marketplace quiets. Though its hum never stops completely, it continues beneath everything like a heartbeat under silence. You begin to walk back toward the archway from which you entered. Each step leaves behind a small footprint of light that fades slowly, absorbed by the ground. You turn once more to look back. The beings are still there, still giving, still receiving, still glowing. You know now that you can return whenever you wish, for the marketplace is not a place outside of you. It is your nature remembered. As you step through the archway, the sounds fade. The laughter becomes the rhythm of your breathing. The light becomes the warmth in your chest. The air becomes the stillness of your room. You are back, lying where you began, but you are not the same. Every cell in your body hums with the frequency of circulation. You can feel the truth of it even now. Each act of kindness you give tomorrow, each creative idea, each genuine thank you, each small gesture, all of it will ripple outward, gathering speed and strength, then return to you multiplied beyond counting. Not because you demanded it, but because that is the law. The universe does not repay, it reflects. It mirrors your giving as your having. You have entered the current, and the current will never let you go. Now as you rest, breathe one more time. Deep, slow, complete. With every inhale, whisper silently, I receive. And with every exhale, I give. Feel how they are the same act, the same motion, the same breath. You smile softly. Somewhere, in the golden marketplace within, 1,000 lights answer your smile with their own. You drift into sleep, carried by their glow, surrounded by a world that already knows how to bless you back. Breathe deeply, beloved. Feel the air filling your chest, rising like a tide that knows exactly where the shore is. You have walked through many inner worlds already. Temples, gardens, rivers, skies. But tonight, the current takes you higher. The ground beneath you glows softly. Golden dust, catching the breath of unseen winds. The air is cool and alive, carrying the fragrance of rain that has never fallen. Before you rises a mountain, immense, silent, radiant, carved not of stone, but of light. It stretches upward until its peak disappears into clouds that shimmer like molten pearl. This is the mountain of unshakable faith. You do not climb it to prove yourself. You climb to remember yourself. It is not a mountain of effort, but of assumption. Every step you take is not a struggle against gravity, but a release into truth. You take your first step. The ground beneath your feet is warm, soft, forgiving. Each grain of golden dust shines with a memory. Fragments of every prayer, every act of courage, every moment you dared to persist, even when reason mocked you. The air hums with that same law that moves the stars. What you feel as true must become true. You inhale deeply, and with your breath, you gather up the first weight that must be released. Doubt. Not the small doubts of the day, but the old, heavy doubt. The belief that something outside yourself holds the key. You exhale slowly, and with it, the doubt leaves your body. The wind takes it, dissolves it into light, and in its place comes stillness. Step 2. The second weight rises. Fear. Fear of not being enough. Fear of being wrong. Fear that the dream was foolish. You feel it as a chill behind the ribs. Acknowledge it. It once tried to protect you. Now thank it, and breathe it out. It leaves your chest like mist burning away under morning sun. The third step. The need to know how. The mountain smiles at this one, for it is the most common stone in every seeker's pocket. How will it happen? Who will bring it? When will it come? You let those questions fall, like pebbles rolling down the slope. They clatter once, twice, then vanish into the valley below. Your shoulders lighten. Your jaw unclenches. Look up. The path curves gently, glowing brighter. Above, the air is thinner but easier to breathe, for it is filled not with oxygen but with faith, that invisible knowing that needs no evidence to exist. You walk slowly, deliberately. Each step brings new quiet. You notice that the more you release, the less the mountain feels like ascent. It is not steep, it is intimate. It is drawing you upward as a magnet draws iron, not by command but by remembrance. Around you, the landscape changes subtly with each breath. The golden dust becomes crystal underfoot, reflecting light from within. The wind that brushes your face carries whispers, soft, kind, familiar. They are echoes of every time you ever believed, even for a moment. Times when something inside you said, I know, even when the world said, impossible. You smile, because you realize you have climbed higher than you thought. Look down, the world below looks smaller, but not distant. It looks peaceful, as though your very act of ascending has blessed it. Continue walking. The next layer of the mountain glows white gold. Here the air hums with quiet power. Each breath you take feels like a declaration. I trust. The wind agrees and carries your words upward, weaving them into the clouds. Then you hear something new, not outside you, but through you, a rhythm deep and steady, like a heart too large for the world. It is the mountain's pulse, or perhaps your own, amplified by faith. They are one rhythm now. You whisper softly, I am guided, and the mountain answers. You are the guide. The path narrows, but not from danger. It narrows because focus is the final gate of faith. To see the summit, you must look with inner eyes, and so you close the outer ones. Darkness falls, not as night, but as simplicity. You walk without seeing. Each step lands exactly where it must. This is the essence of faith, walking without proof, trusting that the ground exists because you have assumed it. The air grows warmer now. You open your eyes again and see that you are surrounded by light, not coming from above, but emanating from you. The mountain glows brighter wherever you walk. You laugh softly, because you realize the mountain was never separate. It rises from your own being. You are ascending through yourself. Up ahead, the path widens once more into a plateau. The sky has no color now, only brilliance. In the center of this summit stands an altar made of fire, white and pure, its flame moving without heat. It does not burn, it illuminates. This is the altar of absolute faith, the heart of the mountain, the heart of creation itself. You approach slowly. Every doubt you ever carried melts before the flame. Every unanswered question bows and becomes silence. You stand before it not as a seeker, but as one who has found. The flame recognizes you. It leans toward you like an old friend. Its light brushes your face, your chest, your hands, and you know what must be done. Step closer. Let the warmth touch your skin, the same way sunlight touches leaves. Gentle, patient, total. You speak softly, the words forming not from the mind, but from the knowing deeper than thought. It is done. The flame flickers once, as if breathing with you. Then it answers, not with words, but with echoes. Thousands of echoes. They rise from the base of the mountain, from the valley, from the clouds, from the stars. They do not repeat your words from emptiness. They repeat them from fulfillment. It is done. It is done. It is done. Each echo carries a world within it. A circumstance aligning, a door unlocking, a message sent, a mind changed, a heart remembering. The air shimmers with the sound until it no longer sounds like repetition, but like music, a symphony of creation responding to your assumption. You close your eyes and let the words continue inside you, resonating in every cell. The echo becomes your heartbeat. The mountain hums beneath your feet. The flame grows brighter until it is all you can see. And then you realize the altar was not at the top of the mountain. It is the mountain. The flame that burns is your own imagination, steady and eternal. The ascent was the process of clearing away everything that obscured it. You step into the fire. There is no pain, no fear, no separation. The flame does not consume, it transforms. You become luminous, translucent, real in a way you have never felt before. Your breath slows until it feels like the mountain breathing you. Your voice, when it comes, is both quiet and infinite. Faith is seeing the invisible and calling it finished. The words ripple through the fire, and the fire expands, spilling out over the edge of the summit, pouring down the mountainside like molten gold. Every village, every valley, every forgotten dream below is touched by it. Where it flows, life blooms, ideas awaken, courage stirs, peace returns. What was once delay becomes timing. What was once fear becomes clarity. What was once waiting becomes readiness. You stand within the flame, perfectly still, perfectly aware. You can see everything. Not with eyes, but with knowing. The desires you once held appear around you as luminous shapes. Some are small. A call, a payment, a message. Others are grand. A home, a purpose, a destiny unfolding. You realize they are all made of the same light as the flame, the same light as you. You smile and whisper again, "It is done." This time the words do not echo outward. They echo inward, into every cell, every strand of being, every layer of reality. They become the heartbeat of your world. The mountain sighs, satisfied, sighed. Look around you now. The sky above the summit begins to open. Clouds part like curtains. Through them you glimpse countless worlds, possible futures, completed creations, already living realities. Each one shines with the same white gold glow. You understand that faith does not build these worlds, it reveals them. They were always waiting for your assumption to make them visible. You turn your gaze downward and see the path you took. It glows from beginning to end, each footprint still shimmering. But now you see, the footprints were not steps you made. They were steps made for you the moment you decided to climb. The bridge of incidence was always there, invisible until you needed it. You laugh, softly, joyfully, because this is the secret you came to remember. Faith is not effort. Faith is rest. Faith is surrender to the inevitability of your assumption. The flame before you flickers once more and then quiets into a steady glow. Its voice, if you can call it that, speaks gently. Go down now and carry this certainty with you. The world will mirror it faithfully. You have walked the invisible path, and the visible will follow. You bow, not in worship, but in gratitude. When you straighten, you realize that the flame has entered you. It burns now at the center of your chest, calm, white, unwavering. It does not demand your attention. It gives you its peace. You begin the descent. The mountain no longer rises or falls. It flows around you like silk. Every breath carries a memory of the summit. Every step feels guided, light, sure. Where doubt once waited, there is clarity. Where fear once whispered, there is warmth. Where how once questioned, there is knowing. You pass through the clouds again, and this time they do not obscure. They illuminate, they carry images of your world below. People smiling, letters arriving, opportunities unfolding, everything aligning with that quiet phrase still resonating in your heart. It is done. As you descend, the landscape shifts from light to shadow to light again. You are neither in the mountain nor out of it. You are both. Because faith does not live only at the summit. Faith walks with you into the marketplace, the home, the morning routine, the silence before sleep. At last, you reach the base. The ground beneath you feels familiar, yet changed, more alive. The same valley that once looked ordinary now shines softly with the residue of the flame. Every tree, every stone, every breeze seems to carry the rhythm of your heartbeat. You realize that the world has not changed. Your perception has. And because perception is the root of creation, the world must follow. That is the law. You take a final deep breath. The scent of the mountain, that mixture of gold dust and sunlight, lingers in your lungs. You whisper again, this time not as an affirmation, but as a recognition of fact. It is done. The wind repeats it back, faint but certain. The valley echoes it softly. The world hears and begins its quiet rearrangement. You walk forward into the glow of your own certainty. The mountain fades behind you, not because it is gone, but because it has become part of you. It lives now as faith made flesh, the steady pulse of assurance that you carry into every word, every step, every day. When you sleep tonight, you will feel its rhythm. Slow, deep, perfect, whispering beneath your dreams. What you have assumed is already real. Rest, for the work is finished. And as you drift into that rest, the last thing you hear is the hum of the unseen world aligning itself around your faith. Bridges forming, people inspired, doors opening, all responding to the mountain you climbed inside yourself. The mountain remains. The flame remains. The law remains. And so do you. Radiant, certain, and free. Walk with me now into the quiet, beyond every image you have ever held, beyond every flame, every temple, every garden. You have climbed, you have descended, you have spoken the words, it is done, and felt the world rearrange itself around your certainty. Now you are invited to enter the place prior to certainty, prior even to desire, where the source of all movement rests as itself. Breathe, and let the breath be simple. Inhale, and feel the gentle lift in your chest. Exhale, and feel the soft release, as though the body is setting down every story, every task, every beautiful scene you have ever conjured. There is nothing to remember here, and nothing to forget. There is only the ease of being. The space opens before you without opening at all. It does not appear, it simply is. You step forward and discover there is no step to take. The room you enter is circular, but not by shape. It is circular by inevitability, by wholeness, by the way it returns to itself, in perfect completion. There is no roof above you and no floor beneath you, yet you are held perfectly, as if suspended in a kindness too vast to measure. Light sustains itself in every direction, not light that travels or bounces, but light that knows itself, light that has no source, because it is the source. Stand if you wish, sit if you wish, lie down if you wish. Here there is no difference. Here there is no distance between posture and presence. Notice how the idea of location begins to loosen. If the mind asks, where am I? Smile gently at the question and let it drift like a feather that does not need your breath to fall. Where you are is I am. You are not in the light. You are the light knowing itself as you. The silence here is not the absence of sound. It is the fullness that gives rise to every sound without being disturbed by any of them. The stillness is not a frozen pause. It is the living equilibrium from which all motion flows and to which all motion returns. Rest in that. Allow the body to grow warm or cool as it chooses, heavy or feather light as it chooses. Allow the hands to soften, the jaw to release, the brow to smooth. Allow the eyes to drift closed, and then open, and then close again inside your awareness. For even with eyes closed, there is a luminous seeing here, and with eyes open, there is only this luminous seeing still. Now, with a kindness that needs no effort, let the thought of manifesting dissolve, not because it is wrong, but because it is downstream. Not because it is small, but because it is an ornament of something infinitely simple. Let images of checks and numbers, of keys and doors, of ships and gardens, of envelopes and vaults, float like petals on a clear pond, beautiful, harmless, already fulfilled. And let the pond be more interesting than the petals. The pond is this: I am. Let the phrase arise, and do not reach for it. Hear it as if it was spoken before language, before sound, before breath. I am. Do not add a single word to it. Do not say I am wealthy, I am safe, I am blessed. Not because those phrases are untrue, but because they are leaves on the branch, and now you are the tree. And before that you are the ground, and before that you are the stillness in which ground, and tree and branch and leaf and wind are conceived. I am. Let it resound without echo, because here there are no walls to throw it back to you. Let it shine without reflection, because here there are no mirrors, only the shining. Allow it to be naked and complete. The body hears this. The breath hears this. The spaces between the breaths hear this. The heart, accustomed to beating for causes and purposes, now beats because it is its nature to beat, and even that is only a movement inside the larger stillness that does not beat and does not stop. Feel how effortless that is. There is nothing to hold. There is nothing to drop. You are not maintaining a state. You are recognizing what never needed maintenance. If a thought rises and says, "This is too simple," smile at the thought as you would smile at a child who believes the ocean must be complicated to be vast. Whisper gently, "Let's rest." If another thought says, "How long shall I stay?" smile again. There is no duration here. Time is a useful costume that hangs at the door of this sanctuary and will be waiting for you when you leave, as comfortable as a familiar coat. But here, without coat and clock, you are warm already. Here the hours do not pass. They dissolve into the ever-present now, and the now is not a moment. Moments appear within it, like birds briefly crossing the sky. If an image tries to form, let it soften at the edges until it becomes mist, and then let the mist become light, and let the light become what it always was, the awareness, noticing it. You are not pushing anything away. You are recognizing that nothing needs to be held. There is no effort in this. Be gentle with yourself. If the mind grows curious and asks, "What comes next?" let the question arrive, reside, and relax. In this room, next and previous have no foothold. In this room, there is only the simplicity that every scripture tried to point toward, and every poem tried to describe, and every silent glance between lovers already knew: I am. Let the sentence shorten. Let even the whisper fall away. Leave only the knowing. Not I am, not am, not even the wordless hum beneath them. Simply the fact of being. Feel what remains when feeling is not pointed at an object. Notice the ease. Notice how your chest opens without moving, how the center of your head brightens without lamps, how the spine aligns as if a magnet passed through the world and remembered your name. Notice how your name itself loosens, not from disdain but from tender inclusion, as if the self that speaks I am were smiling through every name it has ever worn. You are not trying to become holy here, beloved. You are remembering that the holiness you sought was the seeking itself, relaxing into its source. You are not trying to be good. Goodness is the natural fragrance of this stillness when it moves. You are not attempting to attract anything. Attraction is the world's way of describing how form returns to the formless for instruction and then pours out again. You are not attempting to heal. The recognition that you are is the quiet in which all discord unwinds. Breathe, feel the breath as a guest who has lived with you so long. You forgot how welcome it always was. Feel it arrive unasked and leave unattended. Nothing in you clutches at it. Nothing in you pushes it away. The breath teaches you what this sanctuary is, unowned, unforced, unthreatened. Be that. You do not need to silence the mind. The mind becomes interested in this ease, and sits beside you like a faithful animal that has finally worn itself out, chasing its tail. It rests its head, it sighs. You scratch it gently between the ears, and it knows it is loved. The mind is not your enemy, it is your servant. In this stillness it remembers its place and delights in it. Let the edges of the room blur until you forget there were edges at all. Let above and below exchange glances, and then set down their roles. Allow the sensation of being supported to become so obvious that you can no longer find the thing that does the supporting. Notice how safe that is, how complete, how causelessly kind. If you felt alone before, feel how alone cannot exist here, because here there is not two, not even one, only being. Should a memory enter of a debt once owed, a face once loved, a promise once made, watch how the stillness welcomes it without agenda, how the light includes it without trying to fix it, how the silence listens without needing a story. The memory dissolves into the same brightness that gave it shape. You did not do this. You did not work for this. You allowed what is to reveal itself as sufficient. This is the rest the ancients spoke of when they said the Sabbath was made for man. This is the Sabbath of consciousness itself, the seventh day that never ends, the day within which all days rise and set. Now hear the phrase you have heard many times, and hear it new. Feeling is the secret. Ask, what is the feeling before any object appears for it to clothe? What is the warmth before it touches the cup, the tenderness before it finds the child, the gratitude before an event warrants it? Rest in that primal feeling, pure aliveness, pure openness, pure yes. It is not excited, and it is not dull. It is the poised joy of being itself. Let it spread quietly from the center that has no center. Let it include the feet and the hands and the head and the skin and the empty inches around the skin that are not empty at all. Let it include the room you are truly in, the bed or chair, the night outside the window, the city or the field, the river, the road, the far mountain, the cloud, the star. Let it include the person you once called someone else, and the person you used to call yourself. Let it include the future you imagined, and the past you carried, and the present you kept missing because you were preparing to meet it. Let it include the preparation and the meeting and the laughter after. Do not try to keep anything in this stillness. Stillness does not keep, it gives, yet notice how nothing ever leaves. The giving and the being are the same gesture here. The world arises within it as breath arises within sleep, and the world subsides within it as waves subside within the sea. The sea does not acquire the wave and does not lose it. Be the sea. Now if the idea of God stirs in you, let it stir as intimacy, not a throne beyond the clouds, not a judge counting your deeds, not a vendor of favors for the price of virtue, but this immediate luminous presence that says without words, I am that I am. Not a title, not a riddle, not a boast. A fact. The simplest fact. The fact that makes all other facts possible. When you hear those words within, do not reach for theology. Reach for the pulse under your palm. Reach for the breath arriving. Reach for the awareness, aware of both, and then let even reaching fall away. Because what you sought is what sought, and having recognized itself, it rests. If tears come, let them come. Not as sorrow, but as the warm rain that follows heat and loosens the ground and invites seeds to wake. If laughter rises, let it rise. Not as performance, but as a bell rung by no hand, as a bird startled by nothing, as the body's way of saying thank you for letting me be light again. If nothing at all arrives, no tears, no laughter, rest in that nothing. It is not emptiness in the small sense, it is fullness too complete to display itself. And now, in this uncaused quiet, look, without looking, at the nature of desire. See how from here, desire is not a lack reaching forward, it is an overflow reaching outward. See how every true desire is the self calling to itself, through the shapes of time. Come play this form, come wear this name, come taste this garden, steer this ship, hold this check, Sign this contract. Give this gift. Laugh at this table. Sleep in this bed. Rise with this sun. Notice how nothing in you argues with this. Notice how nothing in you clings to it either. Desire appears, bows, dances, bows again, and returns to the stillness that birthed it. From here, creation is already complete, because you see that every branch is present within the tree, and the tree is present within the ground, and the ground is present within this boundless presence that has no opposite. Do you see why I told you, again and again, to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled? From this sanctuary, it is obvious. The fulfillment precedes the wish. The scene is finished before the curtain rises. Time is the way eternity lets you savor what it already is. Sit with that, or stand with that, or float with that. Choose any verb you like, and watch it relax into being. The law is no longer something you practice. It is the way this presence enjoys itself as worlds. Let the phrase I am return, not as a thought you repeat, but as the simple light you are. Let it thrum in your marrow as quietly as the earth turns beneath your feet when you are too busy living to notice. Let it be ordinary. The sacred wishes to be ordinary, because it knows that ordinary means everywhere and always and already. Let this stillness walk with you into every room and never announce itself. It does not need admiration. It is content to be the unnoticed sufficiency in which everything admirable appears. And now, beloved, if you wish, allow the idea of your day to rise like a faint silhouette at the edge of dawn. Watch how the stillness does not wake from itself to meet the day. Watch how the day wakes within the stillness. You, as awareness, do not begin. Things begin within you. You, as awareness, do not end. Things end within you. See yourself moving through simple moments. The phone in your hand, the door you open, the face you greet, the food you taste, the paper you sign, the numbers that appear, and notice how each moment floats unafraid, because it knows where it lives. It lives here. If you feel moved to clothe this stillness with a gentle sentence, you can carry on your tongue like a seed on the wind. Let it be one as simple as breath. Say quietly, not to the world, but to yourself. As the self, I am. Say it once. Let it echo nowhere and everywhere at once. Say it again. Not louder, not smaller, just as itself. I am. Notice how every other sentence that ever guided you, it is done, I am provided for, I am safe, I am ready to receive, are the petals of this one flower. When the flower is open, the petals are not separate. When the petals close at night, the flower is still itself. Now allow the room, this roofless, flawless, self-sustaining light, to become so familiar that you cannot tell whether you are in it or it is in you. Let the boundary evaporate. If you like, imagine the light softening until it is indistinguishable from the darkness behind your eyelids. And imagine the darkness warming until it reveals itself as another kind of light. Let every distinction grow, kind and thin inside and outside. Silence and sound, stillness and motion, you and God. Not as a concept to be recited, but as relief. Feel the relief. It is the signature of truth. When you are ready, and you will know without knowing how you know, allow a breath to deepen. Feel the body again, not as a problem to solve, but as a dear friend who lay down beside you while you visited this sanctuary and now opens its eyes with you. Wiggle the fingers if you wish, and watch how even that small movement is bathed in the same stillness. Let the shoulders roll. Let the jaw soften once more. If the eyes wish to open, let them open and see how the room around you is no less sacred than the one you just inhabited. If they prefer to rest a while longer, let them rest. There is no hurry. Hurry is an echo that cannot survive here. It dissolves when it touches this quiet, like sugar in warm tea. As you return, understand the beautiful paradox you have proved to yourself without effort. When you cease reaching to manifest, manifestation becomes the natural play of being. When you stop asking how is delighted to serve. When you no longer need signs, signs arrive as decoration. When you sit in I am, the world says as you wish. Because your wish and the world's wish are the same wish, breathed by the same presence. Walk through your life now as the sanctuary walks, unseen yet unmistakable, silent yet eloquent, still yet overflowing. Let your words carry the soft weight of this knowledge. Let your actions be simple and exact, not because you forced precision, but because precision is what love looks like when it moves. If a challenge arises, smile gently. The stillness is not a strategy to escape challenges. It is the space in which challenges unwind into clarity. If great fortune arrives, and it will receive it without apology, the stillness is not offended by wealth. It is the ground from which generosity grows. Before you go, linger one breath longer in the center, that has no center, and make no effort to keep it. Keeping is the language of fear. Knowing is the language of being. You know because you are. Let the simplest prayer be the one that requires no words. Let the simplest blessing be the one that needs no object. Let the simplest truth be this: I am. And because I am, creation is complete. And because creation is complete, I rest. And because I rest, all things are added unto me in their perfect form and season, without strain, without delay, without doubt. Not because a distant power decreed it, but because the power that dreams the worlds is the very awareness that listens now, here, in this sanctuary that never closes. Carry that. Or rather, allow it to carry you. And as you drift, if you wish to drift, into sleep, let sleep be recognized as another room in this same house of being, and let the deep of night be recognized as another shade of this same light. And let morning come as a gentle unveiling of what was always yours to know. You will wake to the echo that is not an echo, the voice that is not a voice, the certainty that speaks without sound through your chest, through your step, through your glance. I am. Come with me, gently now, as the journey you have taken begins to fold itself into the quiet of your own room. You do not step backward. You do not leave anything behind. You return bearing treasure. You return as the master of your inner house. Breathe softly. Let your chest rise and fall like the sea at night. Feel the fabric beneath your hands, the subtle weight of the blanket across your body, the way the pillow receives the shape of your head, as if it had been waiting for this moment all along. Notice how the air has its own tenderness, how the sounds around you, near or far, are already part of your peace. You have walked the halls of gold. You have touched the mirror that smiled and called you by your true name. You have stood in chambers where every desire is complete, and you have watched envelopes drift down like quiet snow, each one carrying a blessing that already belonged to you. You have sealed your debts with the stamp paid in full, and felt the weight fall from your shoulders like a cloak you had outgrown. You have stood at the harbor while ships named ease, overflow, generosity, surplus, dividends moored themselves at your feet. You have wandered through the garden where branches bowed with the ripe fruit of effortless income. You have laughed at the table of gratitude. You have drifted through the sky without edges, then felt the river of giving move through your hands, through your voice, through your life. You have opened books of living ideas and watched possibility walk out of the pages to greet you. You have merged with the most luminous reflection of yourself until there was no reflection left, only you. You have traded in the marketplace where love is the only currency, and discovered that the more you give, the more you become. You climbed the mountain and spoke the words. It is done into a sky that answered from every direction. You sat in the stillness beyond even desire, and found that the simplest truth was enough. I am. And now, beloved, you are home. See it without straining. Your inner room reveals itself the way dawn reveals the shape of the world, quietly, tenderly, as if it had nothing to prove. There is a small table where a candle glows without smoke, without flame, a light that knows your name. There is a window that doesn't need glass. It opens into the gentle hush of your own being. There is a shelf fashioned from the wood of faith itself. On it, a simple bowl. On it, a folded cloth. On it, A key you brought back from the temple, warm to the touch, not because of fire, but because of recognition. Everything here belongs. Everything here reassures you without speech. You are safe. You are provided for. You are ready to receive. Let the body grow heavier in the most delightful way. Heaviness does not mean burden now. Heaviness means the bed is receiving you completely. The bed says, "Give me your edges, and I will soften them. Give me your weight, and I will hold it. Give me your day, and I will cradle it until it forgets how to be heavy." Notice the way your shoulders slide a fraction deeper into ease. Notice the way the jaw unclenches and the mouth remembers its natural curve, almost a smile. Notice the way the breath, without command, chooses a slower rhythm, as if the ocean beneath the ocean had decided to surface and rock you. Now place what you gathered along the way upon that shelf of faith. There is no ritual here, only recognition. Lay down the golden seed that glowed in your palm. It hums with quiet joy, because it knows the soil you have become. Place beside it one of the envelopes that drifted from the hall's high ceiling. Do not open it. It is already opened where it matters. The law understands what signatures and stamps are for. You need only feel the completed gift. Rest next the small seal you pressed in the vault. Paid in full. You can hold it up to the candle if you wish, and watch the words gather light. Set the little brass bell from the harbor, the one you rung when the ship called overflow threw its rope over the post. It does not need to ring now. Its silence rings enough. And from the garden, place a single coin fruit with the faint scent of green and sun. Lay down a sprig from the banquet, fragrant with gratitude. Let a page from the library, no ink, all light, rest on the cloth. You may add the mirror's tender gleam, the market's warm pulse, the mountain's clear air, the stillness unnameable. Yes, all these belong here because they belong to you. Your room is not decorated with symbols. It is furnished with the facts of the state you now live in. Turn kindly toward the bed again, and let your body know it may release the last small guards at the door. The muscles of the forehead unwind. The tongue settles at the floor of the mouth. The eyes, even behind closed lids, soften their gaze until they are not looking at anything and everything appears within them. Breathe in as if there were no such thing as effort. Breathe out as if there were no such thing as lack. Feel how the breath proves what I have told you. Receiving is as natural as the inhale. Giving is as natural as the exhale. Neither deprives. Both confirm the abundance of the other. Do not try to hold the images of your journey now. Let them hold you. Tonight you rest, not as a pilgrim who must rise early and press on, but as a sovereign who has returned to a house that will never again forget its owner. You will find, if you happen to glance toward the shelf, that the seed glows a little brighter with each breath. You will notice, if you happen to attend to the envelope, that it feels lighter and lighter, the way answered prayers feel once they are no longer asked. You will sense, if you listen with that wide listening that has no ears, that somewhere a bell rings across water, and it means yes, yes, yes. Let the mind, faithful servant, take off its boots and lay down its maps. It has carried you well. It has reasoned and remembered. It has asked questions to help you cross lesser rivers. Tonight, it may stretch out at the threshold and fall asleep content, knowing that the Master is home and all is well. If a thought arises, what if I forget? What if it slips away? Smile at it the way you would smile at a child who wakes from a dream and does not yet recall that morning exists. Whisper, if you like, as the child settles, I cannot lose what I am. Then watch the thought curl into the gentle dark, comforted. You need not force silence. You need only love it. Silence arrives gladly when it is welcomed. There is a chair by your window. It was empty while you traveled. Not because you were alone, but because presence was walking as your feet. Now watch how presence returns and sits. It does not need to be seen. You sense it the way you sense spring before the blossoms, rain before the scent rises from the ground. It keeps company with you without asking for company in return. If it had a voice, it would say what I say to you now: rest in the end, rest in the end, rest in the end. Do you see how the outer world begins to answer, even now, even before morning? Bridges of incident will be set without your planning. Lines will be drawn between points you thought unrelated. Faces will turn toward you with the exact words your imaginal acts prepared them to speak. Paper will carry numbers you once believed required effort you could no longer bear. Doors will stand where you saw only walls. But none of that is your task tonight. Tonight, your only work is the sweetest work in existence: to let the end hold you until you forget there was ever a beginning. Feel into your hands. They may tingle softly, as if new threads of current had discovered pathways long closed. That is the river, remembering it must flow through you to be itself. Feel into your chest. There, where you laid the seed in earlier moments, warmth spreads as though gratitude had chosen a home and found the perfect fit. Gratitude does not need reasons now. It is not a visitor, it is a resident. It is not an effect, it is the fragrance of being fulfilled. Feel into your belly. Notice the slow content rhythm, the sense that every cell is nodding. Yes, 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 yes. Let the feet grow warm and heavy. Let the hands grow warm and heavy. Let the eyelids grow warm and heavy. The whole body is a small, complete night. And in this night, the stars do not go out. They move inward to become your ease. If you wish, whisper softly, only once, as if speaking not to the world, but to the center of yourself: I am safe. I am provided for. I am ready to receive. Then let those words dissolve into the quiet from which their truth arises. You do not have to keep repeating them. You have impressed them in the state akin to sleep. The law requires no more. Repetition without feeling is noise. One breath, felt as certainty, is a command creation cannot disobey. Now watch how your inner room grows even more familiar. The candle that is not a candle brightens without glare. The window opens further into a darkness that is not the absence of light, but the intimacy of it. The shelf of faith holds your treasures lightly, as if it knows they are already in motion. The bed becomes a little boat, and the stillness becomes the harbor, and the harbor becomes the sea that does not need waves to be a sea. You are not traveling now, you are floating at anchor, and the tide is your friend. There is a clock in the outer world, but not here. There are calendars, but not here. Morning will come, but not here. Here there is only the eternal present that gently lends itself to hours, so that you may savor what is already complete. What you assume now will crystallize as later, and when it appears you will smile, because it will feel natural, inevitable, kind, like a face you knew as a child and haven't seen in years. Do not ask when. When is the language of the senses. The law speaks only now. So let the edges blur further. Let thought become a mist over a warm lake, and let the mist become the lake, and let the lake become the air, and let the air become your breath. Feel how everything belongs to everything. Feel how nothing presses and nothing flees. If an image of your tomorrow arrives, an email, a voice, a number, a door, a hand, let it drift across the surface, and then sink into the certainty beneath the surface, where all forms are born. The certainty does not bargain. It does not negotiate. It knows. And because it knows, it rests. Perhaps you hear, far off and near at once, the faintest music. It's not made by instruments. It is made by alignment. It sounds like the exact chord struck when the inner and outer agree. It sounds like sheets settling, like breath completing itself, like a key turning easily in a lock, and the door opening inward without a sound. That music plays because you have chosen the end. You are not listening to chance. You are listening to law. Let the words I am return. One more time, not as a mantra you must hold, but as the simplest recognition. I am. Full stop. Not I am trying. Not I am waiting. Not I am becoming. I am. Everything you desire is contained in that. Wealth is contained in that. Freedom is contained in that. Love is contained in that. Peace is contained in that. The bridge of incidents is contained in that. The very sleep that now approaches like a blessing you asked for and nearly forgot, it is contained in that. And if the world of senses tugs at your sleeve, did you do enough? Should you do more? Smile once more, the way one smiles at a friend who has not yet learned the secret and worries for you because they love you. Say inside, as tenderly as you can, it is already done. Let the worry sit at your table and watch how it finds nothing to argue with. It will grow quiet. It will excuse itself. It will sleep too. Because here, even worry remembers that it is only energy looking for a shape, and you have given it a kinder one. There is nothing left now but mercy. Mercy for every version of yourself that didn't know. Mercy for every voice that told you to doubt. Mercy for every hour you spent trying to achieve what could only be received. Mercy feels like warmth spreading under a door. It feels like a hand on your back that doesn't push and doesn't let you fall. It feels like the bed deepening by a breath, and the breath deepening by a sigh you didn't know you were holding. Let the room grow dim behind your eyes. Let the candle become a star. Let the star become a spark. Let the spark become the slow, sure glow of your chest. Let the glow become the dark again. Because here, dark is not the opposite of light. It is the holy privacy of it. You are being carried. You are being kept. You are being known. And the one who carries and keeps and knows is not separate from you. It is you. You are the operant power, and tonight your only operation is rest. If any words wish to be your last conscious words, let them be few, and let them come from the place that already sleeps, already trusts, already has, thank you. And then, a softer yes. And then, no words at all. Just the feeling, simple as the sheet against your skin, simple as the rhythm in your ribs, simple as the quiet behind your forehead that spreads until there is no forehead, no room, no edge. Sleep now in the end you have chosen. Sleep as the one who has returned home and knows that home will be here in the morning and in every morning after. Sleep while the law goes about its perfect, silent business. Sleep with the certainty that money, opportunity, companionship, ease, and joyful giving are already forming themselves as scenes you will walk into as naturally as you walked into this room. Sleep knowing that the world is yourself pushed out, and that the self you carry into sleep is wealthy, secure, generous, and at peace. You are safe. You are provided for. You are ready to receive. I am. Good night.